Hello, Sir Raddy. So, tingnan natin. Ang next dito, diba? Boom. So, start na agad yung EG versus Viscose, mga B.
Their perfect score with DSF has already been broken, so maybe they'll venture out into the wild a little bit.
So you think the couple of losses are good because they should change a little bit?
I believe they are a little bit.
It doesn't work like that, guys.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
It doesn't work like that.
I'm just like,
okay, you've got Boba, you've got the draft, like...
He's gonna stick to the same team.
Hello, Anton Sionko. Hello, Soljan Villaver. Ayan, i-share niyo yung live natin, mga B.
I feel like it might be the scenario again. It's like Shadowfiend is good.
They're gonna lose game.
Yeah. Okay. But anyways, they're gonna probably give it a go.
Oh, I agree.
Pero syempre, ang abangan natin dito is itong EG at syempre ang Boom.
Time to look at the replays and see what went wrong. And obviously, as the tournament goes on, people do sort of figure out these heroes. That's why you see the snipers and the drows and other sort of long-range heroes that have come out to fight against each other, right? People are figuring these heroes out, and you have to adapt with that. So I'm not saying you should drop it completely, but you do need to sort of adapt to it and move on and get other things. I think another hero that will be big is Brood. We haven't seen her in a while. She gets banned a lot.
So, do you guys think that all the teams have adjusted to DSF already? So, if they do choose to pick it, do you have to adjust the bans perhaps? Like something like a Sven needs to get out?
I think just the way that Thunder Awaken played against it, like Thunder Awaken, they're the only team at this TI to not even play Shadowfiend once. But they go against a Shadowfiend and they demolish it 2 games in a row. So I think that's the best replay now, where it's like best SF team versus the best team who hasn't even played it but can just demolish it. If you look at how they play, the pace, the speed, the fact that they're fighting top, TPing bot, they're not giving any room to farm this 20-minute BKB, forcing multiple engagements.
Mamaya na, paday sa Monday tayo sasali. Ano oras laro ng Boom? After neto.
It looks like Aster also copied them.
Alam ko sila next dito eh.
Check against DSF and
paday sa ano tayo sali Monday ulit.
I really love the movement of, like, you bring a support mid to either refill bottle or contest a rune, and then you shove out the wave, and then you smoke to the top lane where the SF is and get that kill, because the move is so fast, and the wave is pushing into your mid. It's hard to know, like, what are they doing? Oh, are they going to farm a camp? You don't have the vision on them to know, so that's why that kind of fast move with the support is
Nyelbo.
and I really love that against SF.
Talaga nagbakalbo sa RTS.
hopefully when the first bans and picks come out. But for EG to really play their best, who is like kind of on fire? Because
after neto Boom na.
when they're like dominating crit, just
Basta paday Monday.
position 4.
It's the beautiful harmony between Crit and Arbed. I think when Arbed has a good game, be it like his Embers, his Pucks, these kind of playmaking heroes, at minute 10 he's behind tier 1 towers in the jungle, tier 2s, like just doing so much stuff that it allows your double carry side lanes of Artesian and Nightfall to be able to get like that.
Carrying quotation.
It's on the camera to go there, but alas, I enjoyed it. And then
because you don't necessarily need to play
Eh, wala akong pamasahe kasi.
if you have these
Wala akong cash eh. 09 17
984
984
0606
0606
1K lang.
Okay, and then
One
on
pay
the
na
East
yan,
Coast as well.
Pero wala kasi akong
When they're
pambayad sa
running
ano.
all cylinders,
Kapag nandiyan ka natin,
who's
sino
really
wala akong pera?
kicking off for their team? Who's the playmaker?
Diyan lang sa kanto yun ah.
East Coast,
Yeah, I mean, Whisper, I just say his name 100 million times. This guy is way too talented.
Transfer pa ako sa'yo na ano.
Okay, baby, Whisper, let's go.
I don't know what they
Whisper.
were
So good. Whisper, this guy.
This is like another whisper. I'm a seasoned professional saying things over
Ano
and
nangyari?
over again.
Yeah,
Kayo,
that was,
kayo.
But as you were saying,
No, I think that he's really strong, and what he gives as well is he
Lalo
lets
na
people
kung mas.
his comfort heroes. When we saw
Eto,
PL,
hindi
we think,
pa
oh, it's not so good of a PL game, but because Whisper is dominating his lane, it gives that space for him to get the net worth needed to reach his hero's timings. Because a hero like PL can be run over. We have seen that in other games. Hector is just going to pick whatever he wants. He's going to Sven carry, Rachel carry. He feels something and he goes for it. The way he describes his play is like, it's like a ranked game. You just go on instincts. You know, you just start going, go, kill this shit, and then you run at them, and that's like what his comms are like in game.
No, you'd be surprised how many players still play like that, just by instinct? Even in the drafts, like when they give input, it's like, yeah, I feel that this hero is good and I feel that it isn't. It's not necessarily that strict, like, okay, he's bad because of this, this, and this. It's more like a feeling, kind of a thing that you get after.
Hello, Jason
It's
Styles.
almost like a wise man once said, the beauty about Dota is anything can work.
Exactly.
No, there you go. You are a wise man. And that's definitely not verbatim. Okay, so yeah, looks like we're actually getting some bans in, so they are going to be on the way for game one. So I will let you guys focus on the heroes and what potentially could happen, and listen very intently.
I mean, ban-wise right now, Thunder Awaken probably going to look towards the
Thunder Awaken, that's my favorite team.
Sorry, Beast Coast.
Brood, right?
Oh my gosh, my teeth. Yeah, Beast Coast. Sorry, I was looking at stacks of Thunder Awaken, but yeah, Beast Coast, because the Broodmother and the Primal Beast are the main prominent bans against Evil Geniuses. So most likely, giving it through.
Switching it up a little bit.
Which is fair. I guess the reason there is EG is second pick, so potentially wanting to second pick a Broodmother is like a strategic opening where Beast Coast, okay, if you do that,
Pero pumogis RTC,
final pick in the first phase,
Naging
to
malinis,
respond to it, it's not as disastrous as EG being first pick and getting to close out the first phase of a Broodmother.
Is this Slash? Is this Silencer now being banned out by EG? Because these are the ones I see being banned out against Beast Coast most of the time.
There's a lot of heroes. The ones you mentioned, I'm always scared of Marcy.
Marcy as well, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what they want to give away. They have to obviously think if you are letting something like a Brood through, you need heroes that deal with it. The old counters don't feel like they're as effective anymore because Brood's kit has changed so drastically over the patches with all these different reworks.
Okay.
That must be so because Beast Coast have the last pick of the phase. I think they are thinking that EG want to take Broodmother and they want to get rid of a counter that they
Lower bracket
and
player,
that
di ba?
could be picked. And Hector has been playing Naga Siren in this tournament, so it is definitely out there for threat.
Yeah, 100%. And EG, when they have picked Brood before, their bans instantly after have been the Naga, Tide, and Ember. So of the three, they picked the most prominent one. So EG really kind of warning Beast Coast, we're probably going to go Brood.
Yeah, and this Crystal Maiden pick, I think, is really good as an opener because we've seen Crystal Maiden and Jakiro primarily as the pos 5s that help to deal with the Broodmother on the lane. Because one of the reasons the Broodmother is so strong right now is because of the heal that she gets from Insatiable Hunger. She is able to trade in the lane and then use the heal afterwards to get back up to full health, as well as take trades with it, secure last hits, and all of this relies on her being able to hit. So if you have
BOG o Beast Coast Game 1. Depende pa sa mga pick. Pero Broodmother ni Nightfall.
Carries that can match up against the Brood.
Di pa alam Mark Orozco. Tingnan pa natin.
Back in the day, it was the trolls, right? It was anything that makes her miss, anything
Ito,
that
pogi
makes
ito sa
her
Beast Coast yung
unable to get
pangalawa.
her
Sino?
HP back. Are
Ito
there
yung
some new ones
sa
in the meta
pangalawa.
right now, too?
It's pretty much the, I'd say it's the offlane department. You can go for like these axes. You can even throw like the mid tank and stuff. They picked up Mars because you can eventually put in there. Like Broodmother is like a two-pronged assault where you want to have a really strong lane against her that you can kill her before she hits 6 and gets the spiderlings, and then you want to transition that hero out of the lane, and then you want to put a new hero in there that has the levels from elsewhere that can then
defend the tower.
Exactly, defend the tower against the spiderlings. And the cool thing as well with the Brood Hoodwink, for example, is once Brood inevitably wins the lane, having a position 4 that can also just be super active on the map. So previous combos for crit have been a Shadow Shaman. Now it goes for a Hoodwink. These heroes, if they play within territory that's easily controlled by a Brood, they get to play such a free game because they get to run between bot lanes and mid and bot and just kill anything under the protection.
Also, there's an additional thing that you get from Hoodwink, because you don't actually have to play on the Brood side, right? Like, as a Hoodwink, you can play on your own, you can defend the tower forever. Meanwhile, Brood is assaulting your side, while a single Hoodwink is defending the tier 1 on top.
I really loved watching Brood this tournament as well because she is so versatile in what she can do. I've seen Brews that haven't even taken the tower yet using their webs to connect to mid and play around there. So if the supports are playing around mid, it's easy for Brood to connect too. I think the most important thing for Beast Coast right now is to make sure they win this lane against her and kind of shut her down. So Brood, one of the reasons that everyone is picking her right now is because you are able to get a really early Wraith Pack and play around damage reduction. And then you can buy this pipe afterwards, which nullifies most damage from the enemy, and you get this Wraith Pack timing around 13 to 14 minutes, and it's really hard to deal with. And another thing to look at is in the group stage of TI. If Brood got her Wraith Pack pre-16 minutes, the score of her win to loss was 12-1. If she got it after 16 minutes, it suddenly became much more even, around 7-9. So making sure Brood doesn't get this early Wraith Pack timing is huge, insane.
It's very telling because if the Brood does get that level 6 fast enough, she's usually rolling over the lane and you cannot stop her that easily, right? Which is why you get that Wraith Pack a little bit earlier. Also, it reminds me of Enigma, the way you play the Enigma, but you don't have
Mga pang-ubos agad sa mga alaga yung
pinipinit
na naman. Gising na
I'm
naman.
trying to get her fact that she enjoyed watching Brood.
I mean,
That's like saying you enjoy Tingle to me. I enjoy watching Tingle.
Dapat si Abed nagpakalbo eh.
I think the way the hero has evolved over the years is just really interesting to me, because she used to just be, I'm going to dominate the lane and buy carry items.
Yeah.
And she sort of reminds me a little bit of Nature's Prophet of like Arlington Major patch, where everyone was picking him because he was so versatile. He could push, he could connect to fights, he could carry and scale, and Brood is sort of similar to that. Late game you can go for more carry items, or you can go more utility with this Hex.
And there's something that I've noticed from this TI, from how the game's evolved. Breaking smokes seems to be that's why we saw a lot of nicks. Brood still has a little bit of that in her, right? Like as a hero, or not so much, would you say? I'm okay being wrong, Sheep. You
Playing
could show
tournament
me
na
out
sila.
a bit.
You're right, Adam. Like, I wouldn't say wrong. It's like she uses her spiders as the main primary source of vision, because they changed the way the control group works, so now you can send out spiders everywhere across the map. So it's more about knowing where people are or where people aren't, so you know if there's smoke.
Yeah, exactly.
It's always giving vision, and
I love being wrong and right.
You're beautiful, James, no matter what.
at the same time, like she brings even more than just the smokes because of the way the shard and axe have been reworked.
Oh, the axe as well.
So with that axe, it's not only about you can even catch in with heroes. So it's not only about breaking smoke. You can set up traps. It's basically more annoying techies at this point.
Yeah, and to give reference, the axe is this like invisible snare that you place inside your web so you don't see it, and then you walk into it, and then you suddenly just get rooted, and then other people get rooted, and then you can just spam so many. And if you get into an aggressive position and you're putting all the high ground entries, you're mentioning smokes. Even if you do get you then walk into a high ground area, but you're instantly rooted, and then it tells EG, guys, they're there. It's so much aggressive vision from in there.
Hello, panalo ka ba? Hindi. Talo kami kala Jot. Sa Monday kami ulit sa Sale. Bago kami, oo, Monday. Monday or Tuesday.
EG is just making a statement with their drafts because they are picking heroes that are forcing these players to react. So when you're entering a lower bracket game, not having full control of the heroes that you want to pick always can be a bit more annoying. And in this situation here as well, it's like EG picks up the Sven, so now you can't give K1 his Sven against a Broodmother who could be an aggressive laner with CM. You just take it away. He's just asking, now we're going to think of another hero to pick.
Snapper, lahat pang ubo sa Gagamba.
Meanwhile, East Coast, they snap up. No pun intended. They think that's
This guy.
yeah.
When I made fun, everyone just shit on me and called me a wannabe Lacoste when he does it. Ugh.
The delivery, the smooth,
Yeah, you're
silky
right.
tone.
That's true. It was beautiful.
All right. So
Oh god, he got silky.
He's got more.
Oo, puro lahat.
it's versatile for them, but most likely it will be the support here, right? Or maybe it can even be played on mid because they have done that in the past.
The Sapphire is very versatile in this region. It was more Thunder Awakened last sort of DPC
So
tour,
tiny,
when they were playing
mid.
multiple roles, off lane.
Or is Snapfire mid?
It strikes me more as a support here because you want to pair it with that Mars.
I think one of the concerns right now for Beast Coast is we mentioned the optimization of Broodmother, the Wraith Pack, the Pipe. Most of Beast Coast's early game damage is going to be its magical damage. Sure, you have the little Shredder and Snapfire to instantly kill through the hit count of the Wraith Pack, but if that interaction doesn't happen, if you don't see that little Shredder come through, then you're not going to kill the Wraith Pack because it's super hard for these melee heroes to get in if you can't rely on her. And then the Pipe. So I'm a bit worried Beast Coast, if they don't come out ahead in the lanes, they're just going to be on the back foot a little bit.
And everything that you were talking about stands as long as you can interrupt the long range damage with Mortimer's Kisses, right? But now you get the Ember on the side of EG, so you can deal with that as well. Not only with the Snapper, but also with the Crystal Maiden.
This is what I love about EG's draft, though, is how they're covering their bases. We have the Wraith Pack and the Pipe for damage reduction. Sven, his Warcry, it gives armor to the team. EG have ran this strat before. Fly plays it typically on the plus 5 Sven. And you build around this one core who becomes incredibly tanky and just kind of can't die, and that's what I like about this Brood and this Fen. What are you meant to draft towards in terms of damage?
I think, we've been praising EG and how they've set up this draft to be super aggressive. The flip side will be, if Beast Coast does survive through this very mid-game centric kind of annoying lineup, their heroes with BKBs, items, and just scaling in, they will always have the team fight. They will always have the we can just hold this position and fight you if they can get around this Brood with axe and stuff. But it's still very much leaning more towards EG and the team that should be able to set the pace of the game. Unless their lanes go disastrously, then sure, Beast Coast, they have a plethora of damage, but
Oh, I just want to say, actually, we talked about the snap flexing a bit. I'm just realizing it's Beast Coast, and I know that Schofield hates ranged force. He has played the snap and he can play it, but he heavily prefers pulse snap.
Chrysalid snap or...
Well, I'm thinking it might be a mid-Mars and an off-lane snap fire with the Tiny. That would make the most sense to me in terms of their players and how they play. It's what makes sense to me for Beast Coast.
That sounds way more fun for sure. Like I'm checking here, they have played it already at TI. They played the offlane snap, they played mid snap. There's a lot of flexibility with the hero, and they need something that provides more aggression, because like if you put Mars mid, you're going to secure his levels. So we mentioned how the Broodmother needs to have that anti-wave clearing hero to go against her. That's going to be the Mars now. If you put it in mid, it's easy to transition that Mars from the mid lane to bot. It's not as far as the off lane to safe lane. So I honestly like that adaptation.
The only problem that I would see with that is that you're kind of tying up your mid laner, the one that's supposed to
Medyo
do
maliit lang
most
pala
of the
to.
game.
To one lane,
Tying
yeah.
him up to one lane.
Ito yung
that's
play.
just
Oops,
defending against the
ito lang
Brood.
kadami.
For me, the best
Mas
way
madami
to
yung
do it
sa
is
finals,
to
kaya
fight.
pala.
You can just spam out the spiders, make it annoying for the Broodmother, but then again, the new Brood is kind of difficult to stop that way.
When EG does have the final pick in the entire draft of Beast Coast, they're going to be entering this final phase, kind of picking a little bit of blind here.
Yeah, there's still the troll available if they want to play the lane that way against the Brood. Hector does play a lot of different heroes. Who else is still in? We have
Did you
like
know-
Faceless Void.
Is there not like a punch scenario here?
Yeah, that could work with the Vanguard rush.
Yeah, exactly. Just go for some Vanguard, get an axe, you park yourself there, you're aggressive in lane, see a pod, you have the root, you can then hook, so before Spiderlings come into play, there's some kill potential in this Brood.
I like that a lot.
They don't necessarily have anything great against the Pudge at the moment. They will just have to answer that to the carry. I actually do like the Pudge idea quite a bit.
It's kind of like a hero that you can kind of dangle in the
So
middle of the
pala
fight, and
last
all these like
pick.
spell
So, meron pang Medusa.
not going to be too aggressive for EG as well.
He can also be way more active.
Boom! Versus EG na DS. Yun nga eh, sana warin, di ba?
Once that Vanguard is out.
A tanky enough hero to allow
Sana,
time
sana.
for the rotation to come in as well. That's another thing. If you pick a weaker carry who dies so quickly to a Broodmother when she hits 6 and that pressure,
Would you be worried for their burst amount of damage? Or is Tiny Snapfire good enough?
yeah, I think it's good enough. I think Beast Coast, they're playing a game where they want to try and be really aggressive in lane and then show
they
the
like
awful
that.
victim to not being able to play as quickly.
May TV pa.
But they'll eventually just get into the game nice.
Aslar?
They go with the Slark. This is it, right? Like, as Sheep mentioned, if he wants to play that Slark, he's going to get the Slark, he's going to play the Slark. And this hero has been picked quite a bit recently. Like, in the Chinese region,
Slark.
they've even
Pwede sila
switched
mag-Medusa.
the whole kit on the hero. Like, first item ratings,
Medusa or
been the
TB.
flavor for at least a couple of months. Not going to happen here, most likely.
Hopefully not. But we mentioned how EG doesn't really have team fight. They're relying on kind of annoying heroes to just win in these mid-game engagements. Slog's the hero that if you survive that start of game,
TB,
you can
diba?
dominate it.
TV or Medusa na lang.
Use the answer almost no matter what.
They've done this so many times before. They've done the Brood, they've done the Terrorblade. Their play style is get into the enemy side of the map. Terrorblade skips waves, Brood skips waves. You have no map to get out on. It's a classic thing EG's done a lot of times before. It's a good carry matchup.
So, do you fancy, just based off the draft, I guess the question is,
Beast Coast is so good at spellcasting, and their entire lineup is just spellcasting, running around team fighting. So I think it definitely plays to their strengths as a team. But this late game is a little dicey.
I'm worried there's not enough map for Beast Coast to play, where they rely surviving for long enough to get items, and a Terrorblade and
Puro
Brood,
pang,
they can show you
puro pang clear ng gagamba yung mga hero nung
Yeah, I'm gonna
Beast
go with
Coast.
here and go with Beast Coast. I have some faith in the low bracket SA Slark.
You don't believe in the boldness?
Well, there was one guy that won going bold yesterday as well. So
See?
are we overdoing it?
No, I'm just quite excited. I know we get to hear a little pre-game interview from Bulba in a moment, so I'm just waiting for that to come through. But
Well, it is mid tiny that is leaving. We got
Oh no, he's still with the headset on. I was like, if he's walking over, he might now be able to hear us. Hi to Bulba.
Yeah.
Hi Bulba, enjoy your interview, but again, still headset on. So
Well,
wait a minute.
when he's ready, I'll know, and then we'll send it over. But it's definitely for a game one. It really seems like EG, you think, controlled the draft. They're going in
That's
slightly
good,
more
dude.
comfortable, but it's like, as you say, Hector just gets to choose like, hey, I want Slark, and it's going to work.
Pretty much from the get-go, they're
Ganun
controlling the
talaga
draft,
ang kulay
but
na.
Beast Coast also are in their full comfort zone.
Okay.
They do struggle to take objectives a bit.
We'll see how comfortable EG are, because Slacks has got an interview with Coach Bulba.
Thank you so much over there on the panel. I am here with Bulba, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. The people love you. Very confident draft. First pick Broodmother, and then countered by Beast Coast by a lot of AoE. Do you think that you guys are going to be okay? Are you happy with the trap that you have spun?
I mean, hopefully we're happy. I think we're happy. So yeah, we didn't expect them to give us Brood. So, but I think we haven't lost with the hero yet. So yeah, let's see if they have their ideas good enough.
All right, fantastic, sir. Well, I think the crowd has a lot of confidence in you guys, so thank you very much, and we wish you the best of luck there in game one, and we will get right to that now with Owen and Font.
Thank you very much, Slacks. Yes, very much looking forward to this one. Evil Geniuses versus Beast Coast here in the lower bracket. We heard it there, folks. You know, Bob, we're very happy that they're able to get the Broodmother and be able to build a draft around that. Would you also agree there's reason to be confident in getting that through in the way they've closed it up at 3G? Or do you feel that Beast Coast will have the means to deal with the Spider?
Does look like they have a lot of answers because they've seen it so many times. We've seen them play it, I think, 5 times. They did drop one game, I believe, versus Liquid when they had the Brood, but they do have so many answers. It seems like every single one of their heroes is to respond to that, and also to respond versus the Wraith Pack build that we've seen pretty much every game. They have the Snapfire, of course you have that little Shredder to kill it off, so it does look like they answered it pretty nicely, but let's see what's going to happen with that last pick Terrorblade.
Well, let's get ourselves into the action. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Game 1 of Evil Geniuses versus Beast Coast.
Hello, John Rufino! Ano team sa dalawa? Doon tayo sa EG, mga B. Select highest network. How long
Does
do you...
it seem like he's going to be able to get enough distractions on the game?
Total
Because he has this
number
Brood, he has this Hoodwink, he has this Ember that's going to be causing problems across on the other side of the map, so maybe he feels like he can get all the space in the world as this Terrorblade to be able to get this scaling. But looking at the draft, of course, from Beast Coast, they have a lot of answers, of course, too, for TV. Mars has traditionally been seen as one of those heroes, even though it's gotten nerfed a lot of times, has done well versus TV, and they have a plethora of burst damage and nuke that we saw work pretty well versus these pretty squishy agi cores a lot of the time.
On the side of Beast Coast, obviously,
May ganun
with
pala.
that Slark pick here for Hector.
May pwedeng i-click.
And anything here as both teams.
Look how much information they're giving. Just because that Slark standing on the high ground, that night vision, you can see so much. They can actually sneak into this enemy jungle nicely.
And indeed, it's able to pick up the ward there, Gojira. See the sun here around the mid, K1. Not going to want to stand around too much.
I don't think I've ever seen that happen, actually. At least not in a TI.
No.
Get their mid ward just walked up and snatched because of that night vision.
Yeah, well.
Alright, that's going to be pretty cool to set up.
They'll be happy with that one, Beast Coast.
And look at this approach. The start of the lane right away, they're going to actually put the pressure onto the TB. I think they look at this lane and they're like, this is a lane that TB can definitely get punished. This Mars, this Snapfire, they could definitely shut this down since there's just a Sven behind him. Alright, let's see how it plays out. Yeah, I can't believe that happened.
See if it has any sort of implications.
Tatlo?
Where they're able to set up
Oh, ba
certain vision,
tatlo?
and indeed there's
Siguro
a lack of
dalawa lang
vision
para
that
kayo.
might
CM
have
kasi
for a
pwede
few
rin
minutes
mag-dagger.
around certain areas.
This is that melee versus melee matchup, so sometimes, it can be like a range versus range where you want that high ground ward to play with them to pull creep aggro and stuff like that. So it's not of course it sucks to lose your ward, but could be worse if it was him like on a range or something like that.
Di natin.
So whether the stage starts down for him, I mean, which core is going to be happier at the beginning? out of K1 and Nightfall down here.
It's pretty
Favorite
tough to
Nightfall
bully out
to?
Brood nowadays with the new way that the web works. You don't really get slow ever. You have so much health regen. When you get that second point in web, even if you drop low on HP, you're pretty speedy, and you'll be able to get that, of course, that HP regen that builds in. So I don't think Nightfall should be too worried. He also has crit always behind him, so I would say if anyone has to worry, it's Stinger more than anything in this lane.
Sure, yeah, has to be careful how far he steps up, especially once the level 2s are there. Crit could look a quick setup and have that damage.
Just a lot of harassment that comes out with the Blightstone and then the spam that's going to be coming out from the Silken Bola. We'll see which choice actually Nightfall does go for, because also we can
Yun naman si RTC, ewan ko na lang.
one or something like that, so we can trade with Hector. Or K1, we should say, of course.
Of course, on this top lane then for Arteezy trying to lane against the Snap Mars duo that Beast Coast are putting against him. I mean, is he going to be fine up here, or is there potential for kills to be found by Beast Coast?
I mean, from what we've seen, these fans are able to secure lanes pretty nicely, but looks like
Okay,
they
Set up here, they will indeed. First blood for Beast Coast. Nice little combo there. Of course, between these two heroes, Snap and Mars, they'll be able to pull off much more of that to come here in the laning stage.
And they can do that to Arteezy pretty much any time too, so he always has to be careful. It's a death that's kind of needed in a way. Like it's gonna happen there for the Sven, and it's better that he dies than the TV dies to this big burst damage that comes out from these two. But they're gonna keep going for that. They're gonna always go for these double nuke plays onto either TV or Sven if they're out of position.
Of course, whilst the meta's unavailable, very hard for EG to get aggressive in return.
But Topper is farming very well, right?
He is.
He's in 3, even though he did lose to Sven.
Not being slowed down so far.
None of the cores really. Mid lane also, CC Smile versus Mavid, pretty much dead even. And bottom, Hector, a little bit behind, but it's a top lane in a way versus the
Yeah, I feel sort of across the map, he's the one that's going to have a bit of a trickier time when it comes to getting up to the CS.
Honestly, it feels like both of the carries might start to be in some troublesome positions, right? Like Arteezy does feel like once these nukes start leveling up even more, will be problematic for him, but they do actually get a stacked pull-off. That's pretty rare. So they're going to lose a whole wave on Beast Coast.
Structures are fortified.
See what Gojira can try and do about this. See if there's a chance to maybe look for a kill between the two of them here, Whisper and Gojira. Gonna set up onto Fly, but with the Mango and the stun, make sure that Whisper doesn't get the chance to line up any follow-up.
That hurts though. They lost literally the entire wave there to that double point. Arteezy's able to free farm under the tower, so really good play from Fly. His bottom, yeah, just constantly seeing them spamming these spells back onto each other. All the trees being cut on the side there, you see K1 constantly Quelling Blading. Always going to be watching for those Quelling Blade plays, of course, also versus the Hoodwink to cut down that acorn shot.
On the top. Once the meta's up, it's definitely a bit trickier for Beast Coast to try and make that play between these two.
They still do have a lot of burst, right? If they can get the chain stun, even Arteezy could go down.
Absolutely, yeah. If they can land sort of on the lineup to get that good angle with the spear, they almost certainly death for one of EG's members on that top lane.
And they are hanging on to a lot of stick charges, up to 5 on Gojira and also 9 on Whisper. Lingering pretty low on HP.
I'm not opposed to taking the occasional bounty.
Down bottom, K1
CM
will
level
rely
na
on
lang
Stinger
yun.
to continue to bring in the regen whilst he's working his way towards that second set of
Patay
tackles.
na naman
If
siya.
he don't get the angle, if you don't follow up, it's another kill. East Coast combo here, proving to be very strong, and as best as EG are trying to avoid getting caught in these situations flying RTZ, East Coast is still able to find these opportunities.
Yeah. It's pretty unavoidable. Like, they have the CM aura, so they're always able to spam their spells up here too, and they might even go for Arteezy top.
He's on his own now, underneath the tower. See if they can do this here, but Live back in action and TP at the ready. He'll manage to turn up and make sure that the dive cannot continue, but really feel it already. Beast Coast finding these great chances to just get under that tower and aggressive.
Patay na naman siya.
Right, he as well, on to Whisper to close the gap, but the stick charges will keep Fly fine. Beast Coast will have to reset a little bit. They're starting to fall low on the two of them.
But the rotation's coming in. Look how low these heroes on our EG are.
I mean, yeah, Fly and Arteezy have to be careful.
Naku po.
Here we go, Chris. He's looking for Fly.
You saw him?
Be able to catch him with the avalanche. He can. Fly's not going to be able to run away from this one. He'll pop the war cry, but a final blast from Kajira gets another. I mean, in the root, and he's he's in and he's out. Arbed will manage to still pick that up before Chris swings back towards the mid.
That would have been some pretty fortunate scenarios coming in. Of course, Rune spawn.
Reverse sparling talaga mula kahapon, says. Nako! Saan ba nagbebet? Hindi kasi ako nagsusugal eh.
Doesn't find terribly, but again, finding the early kills, 3-0 already for Beast Coast. And the bottom lane, they actually haven't died. They weathered everything. And as you mentioned, Slurk, sure, he's a bit behind the counterpart. 400 behind the TV, 800 actually behind the Brood, but they haven't died yet.
No. And this was going to be the toughest part of the map for Beast Coast in this laning stage, no doubt about it. So they're dealing very well with the pressure and the setup that EG set up against them. Now this movement from Gojira, they might find a chance to make a kill onto Nightfall. And with the pounds to blast, to follow up, and with the cookie, and indeed the spider's gone. Beast Coast.
Grabe si Gojira.
Excellent read of where they can make these plays in this laning stage here.
Boom lang nanalo sa bet song ko pati Tundra kanina. At least nanalo. Magkano binibet mo? Hindi kasi ako nagbet eh. Wala tayong pambet.
Soon to be getting level 6, so should be able to withstand down bottom on his own. Yeah, really smart moves. And we see a pretty clever ward, of course, too, from Gojira. Actually places it in the river down bottom after he makes the rotation, so gonna spot any rotations that Crit makes as well. Maybe guarantees that 8-minute power rune for Chris Luck if they do linger in the area.
Definitely want to keep control of that power rune for sure.
They're actually going for the play here on mid.
With the toss back. But as well to follow things up.
It might be, oh, so close.
Almost gets the frost.
Same time up top. CEG now make a move on towards Mars. Look to threaten Whisper. Be able to spear back RTZ, but Flying Crit able to finish him off as EG finally get themselves a kill on the board.
Yeah, lane's starting to break pretty early on here. And Rune will spawn, and yep, Gojira, since he's staying in that area, will secure the 3 heroes. That's K1 in a 1v1 versus the Brood. Much better for him.
He's happy now. Yeah, he's hit the 6. So when it's Nightfall alone down here, KO1, very little to be concerned about.
Yep.
Should be able to start closing that gap in the farm.
And we do see Nightfall, most of the games he's gone for that Wraith Pack, but I think he's starting to realize, they have the Snap who's gone for the early points in the Little Shredder too. He can't actually go Wraith Pack first item, so gonna go for the Pipe. Also the item that, all these Broods do go is at the first, second item. A lot of magic damage, so...
Absolutely, yeah, he needs it to be able to protect his army this game.
Exactly, and to protect the TV if he does show up early. There's so much magic burst that's on people, so...
Magkano panalunan mo?
Kind of cutting mid lane as well, and they are looking to make perhaps.
Pag nanalo EG, tapos nanalo boom, sila magkalaro.
Nightfall is playing very cautious under the tower. Same time around the mid, they look to dive. Chris
Oh,
able to get the
but
rebound
it's fun.
avalanche off. Time's being bought for the backup TPs to come in. Stinger turns up. And EG, they won't be able to continue the aggression onto Chris. He'll be fine.
He's very tanky.
Now still have, it's pretty much a full stick there. 10 charges and a fairy fire. So really a kill that EG was going to be able to get, even with the 3 of them turning up.
A scary place to overcommit to. I think they knew that the Mars wasn't going to be able to come in, but the 2 supports could be around there just to back him up right away. And now K1, level 6 is online. Treads are done. He's just going to get to the jungle a little bit here. Another move for mid. Not going to be able to get Gojira though. Although, 4-1, EG still leading in the network.
Yeah, farm still good.
Or still looking very good with their presence. And Nightfall, now the pressure is going to start on the bottom lane. So let's see what Beast Coast does to react versus this Spider. As we mentioned earlier, their draft does have a ton of ways
to agad. Uy, tumama.
Trying for the catch onto K1. Will scare him enough to pop the Shadow Dance immediately in return to the Bushwhack coming in from Crit. Lane Arena was dropped here. So they made an attempt, but weren't quite able to pull it off this time. RTZ remains safe. We'll be able to continue to farm underneath the tier 1 top, underneath the tier 1 bottom.
Ayan na yung mga alaga, walang SS.
No ultimates, already used the Shadow Dance. Further TP's coming in, trying to pass away, but Crit able to time it perfectly with the Bushwhack, pulls him back. They take down K1. Lose flying return. We'll see the rest of EG can get out. In fact, they might not want to get out because backups arrived. Arbed, he's also ready to dive underneath the tier 1 tab, but he's
Naku po! Oh, grabe naman si Gojira.
It started off as a smooth move from EG to try and pressure in, take down K1. Was he didn't have
Kalalaman.
but they tried to go for more, and that was not
Oy!
the move that they were going to get away with.
Halika dito.
A perfect time
Halika dali, Mavi.
turn it around, and Arbed, he's going to wish he didn't come down here at all.
Halika.
A beautiful last from Crit here to start it
Dito,
off.
Mavi.
Mid-pounce. But yeah, I don't think they expected so many rotations coming. I don't know if they expected the Snap to be that 6 either. Yeah, Whisper just used ult top, so maybe they thought he wouldn't come here either. Beautiful moves. This Snapfire really kicking in this early game. 3-0 3-0-3, 6 of the 7 kills.
Yeah, I mean, just excellent setup there as well from Kajira, using the cookie for Whisper, getting him on top of Arbed, and then with that opening stun, easily able to find time to get the follow-up spear, and it just locked down Arbed for the whole ult that was coming in.
And the crazy thing is too, look at the tower HP in that bottom same lane. After we see the Ember perhaps getting gone in a little bit.
Naku po, patay na naman si Abed.
Times now, back to back in this area of the map. It's not been a great place for him to be.
No, and then we do see the tower. It is
Paubos kasi lahat ng mga...
touched. This is a brood lane. Near 12 minutes, that dive not working out at all.
See around the mid. Chris ready to set up more against the toss back. Onto Fly, and of course back up. It's there. It always is.
Naputol agad yung puno.
Take down another. Fly falls. We'll see how easy turning up to the mid. This is quite an aggressive fight. The Terrapins are involved in.
Naku po. TP pa dun para magpapatay. Naku po!
He just had popped his mana too. Why did you try to come in just for a quick kill onto a core? These guys, they're too fast around the map. EG's got to give more respect to these movements.
Absolutely.
This is devastating. Look, I will leave it too, maybe.
We've just seen it happen to Arbed. We've just seen it happen to Artesian. We've just seen it happen to Nightfall. EG losing course left, right, center here.
It's 12-2. This is looking just as thunder, really. The way that the aggression is coming up so early.
We're fronting in this early.
Sila pa rin na makakapasa.
Looking to top.
Won't be able to do too much on his own.
To steal some Agi. But he's got the diffusal blade finished up, so that's also another scare. The fact that Beast Ghost can even start involving the Slark in every single one of these fights. Arteezy can't come back to show up for quite some time.
We're going to quick pick on to Stinger here. Over on Beast Coast side of the map. Definitely feels like you saw the start of EG, whilst they were sort of losing in terms of kills, they were getting the farm. They've got to be careful not to sacrifice the space that they've been able to maintain on their half of the map, but for going for these aggressive plays and losing these huge kills.
That's devastating. They're trying to look for K1, perhaps Secret trying to, but not when he gets in the tree lines. Like a very good start here for Beast Coast, of course. Almost a blink even on the Mars, so...
Oh my god!
Distancing for TB, like usually the way he wants to play in backlines and hiding in the jungle, pretty much farming for most of the game, it's gonna be a lot harder now with Whisper having this type of start. Blink at 13 minutes in your off laner.
Quick set up in the mid, Chris. Arbed will be fine. He's got remnants to play with, but it's in a heavy bit of damage.
Only I think misses one of those
Ano
balls.
tayo, pusi-pusi?
Super farm Snapfire.
Power in 9 seconds. East Coast they'll want to make sure that Arbed doesn't get a hold of that.
They have the blink on Chris as well too.
And the rune, and it is coming bottom. Arbed able to grab it inside.
Chris is out of mana. Trying to chase.
Kind of hard to chase up between these two. Yeah, further TPs are coming in. He'll latch on with the Searing Chains, but Arbed knows that he's got to be careful. Whisper turns up.
Arbed might still be in trouble.
Ay, sabi ko na.
It was laid down in a
Naantay.
good spot. And of course, no struggle at all there for Chris to make sure he's there, ready and waiting. That's Arbed dead again.
And, I mean, they did not have the damage at all to try to go for the time. They had the Sven and the Ember, no Flame Guard. That was...
And the kills, they're just going to keep rolling in, by the way. Beast Coast, they find Fly out alone. It's 15-3 here, 14 minutes in. Beast Coast,
Una pa nakapasag yung Radiant. There yung sagot ko.
Aggressive on every single one of the lanes. Anytime somebody shows on EG, they get cleared out. Oh, look, some spiders as well, too. Whisper says thank you. Level 11 already on this Mars. Anytime anyone shows, it feels like they can hide now. That these double blinks that are set up from these over-leveled supports, they're always going to be able to get the catch on EG.
That's some terrifying stuff in Beast Coast so far.
How does EG really get things together now, right? Like, who do they really want to rally behind? It feels like it's going to have to be like when the pipe comes out for Nightfall, which he does have now, so let's see what they can do with it.
They're going to try and get something going here off the back of a smoke.
Feels difficult still.
Patay agad lahat ng
Chris here
mga...
around the mid. TPs are going to come in. See if they can take down that side. He's still on the side, able to lay down the ult. EG there attempting to reach it to take down Chris, but Chris is out and he's alive. He's going to be fine. KO coming in the front of the fight. He's in with a bounce on top of Arteezy. Avalanche just went onto the forward.
Ay! Tika na!
Arteezy back up to full HP. Arbed out of the fight. The arena's down. Spear will miss. So they won't be able to hold Arteezy in position. Arteezy's going to be fine. For now turns towards K1. Pants back. He's in with a jump though.
Oh no!
Kisses Arteezy, melts into the dagger. The Snapfire Gojira takes him down. So Arbed, is there more for him to find? He's going to try and keep the fight going, Arbed. Jumps over towards Chris. Chains and the further remnants, but the avalanche is back up. Chris will still die.
Legend eh.
Kill and return EG, anything more for them to find?
Grabe. Walang katapos ang team fight.
4 versus 4. They want to keep the action going. They get the bushwhack set up onto Stinger, stun into the angle of Chris. EG find another. Ooh.
I mean, they're pretty durable. You're definitely seeing that pipe coming into play. This 30 HP regen
Dami
Brood Mother
naman
just
ba
never
ng
gets
iba?
low.
Cooking into the blast. No further ability to send them back under the tower quite yet. So EG, they may lose Arteezy in the fight, but they do take down 2.
Yeah. It started, I mean, it looked almost kind of disastrous at the start, but I think the Sleight of Fist actually canceled Whisper's Blink Dagger, and then he had like a little bit of an awkward jump with his ult and spear. That's why it ended up missing. So he's still going to keep going for these plays too.
Yeah, EG, they're trying to play with the momentum that they were able to get going a little bit around that mid-fight. Do end up losing Crit Bottom.
It does feel like EG's actually more cooldown reliant. Even though they're playing into a team that has like Mars ult and the CM ult, it does feel like EG has to be pretty careful if they want to, because it feels like they have to invite Arteezy when they go for these type of pushes, and he needs that meta available. So it does feel like they have to play pretty slow on the side of EG versus Beast Coast, which is scary, because Beast Coast is not going to play slow at all. They're going to just constantly look to hunt. It's going to continue to accelerate too, because K1, he's got a couple components finished already of that Aghanim. 3 pieces done. That's going to make it even easier for him to just stick onto that back line, get onto Arteezy.
Absolutely, and to be able to kite him out if things get dangerous when the meta's up.
Okay, Whisper obviously go for a shard early on since he's playing versus that TB.
Like shards, good.
Tends to be one of the most valuable options when you're playing versus Illusion Cores. Nice Baron farmed, so it doesn't hurt him too much to go for that this game.
See Beast Coast ready to set up around the mid. See if they can get the combo onto Arbed. We're going to try the slight error. Immediate reaction. They still find the Avalanche toss combo, but that quick little dodge at the beginning, meaning that the full lockdown couldn't quite be there from Beast Coast. Arbed will be fine. I mean, Kaju's going to go with the kiss. Trying the arena, but won't manage to get the catch. This time, EG able to dodge the combo. Still to the side though, Fly will be finished on EG. They try to take the fight with the arena being missed. Arbed, Remnant at the ready, will be able to dodge out of the range of the Crystal Maiden ultimate. EG, they'll keep their distance for now. It's easy. Looking for an opportunity to step back in on this, but Beast Coast, they're out with the retreat. They'll pop the smoke and keep their distance.
That's a fresh meta. He just popped it. This could be a dangerous position here still for Arteezy. He could still just get popped. He has the pipe aura around him. He's going to need that near him. But all this time, meta's just ticking down.
Oh, wala na alis na sa mid to ah.
Is tier 1 still standing? All tier 1s on the side of Beast Coast standing.
So a quick move there from Chris and Whisper down towards the bottom. Maybe seeing if they could catch out whoever turned up to clean up this bottom lane. It is Arbed.
Not the spear just yet. They definitely have enough damage and control. The max frostbite is already.
If Arbed shows again, that could be Beast Coast. Keeps it going. Here we have it. Chris is in. A large toss. Spearback TPs are coming in, but it's not going to be soon enough to save him. Arbed taken out by the combo once again from Beast Coast.
It looked like he kind of maybe saw them, maybe thought he was going to be tanking up, but no, way too much damage, way too much control that Beast Coast does that down here. Again, just continue to make all these beautiful plays. And I think that is going to be, yeah, the axe is going to be done now for K1 for Hector. He's having a phenomenal game. And they continue to shut down Abed. 0-4-3 on December Spirit.
See what sort of a defense EG can put together around these tier 1 towers. Now the Beast Coast are amping up the pressure on these lanes.
It's pretty astonishing, right? The team that has the TV and the Brood are the ones that have been able to take a tier 1, and they've actually lost pretty much all 3 of theirs in a second here. Beast Coast just really bringing that early action these first 20 minutes. Not really giving any opportunities for that Brood. As we mentioned, as Bobo was talking about it, they've gotten this Brood a lot of the times, but Beast Coast, they answered it pretty much with at least 4 or 5 of the picks in their draft, and so far you're seeing it work pretty damn nice.
We saw obviously the other day in the series that EG played, right, both games they were able to get their hands on this SF that they've been winning through the group stages throughout, and it was clearly something that Thunder Awakened had planned for. You've got to ask yourself, with the Brood being let through this game, it's probably something that Beast Coast had a pretty good idea of how to deal with, and so far looks pretty good. Top lane, Whisper and Chris continuing to just pick up these kills wherever they go. I mean, as long as Beast Coast pretty much have a combination of any 2 of these heroes, they've got excellent kill potential.
Damage and control more than necessary. Whisper continues having this crazy game. He's top net worth still, somehow, on this off-lane Mars, 8-1 and 7. I think it's something we've gotten used to, of course, with Whisper in some of his games where he just totally pops off, but this
Ano yung nakadagger?
EG finally able to get some pressure onto the tier 1 themselves. Bottom, this tier 1 should be gone. No interest here for Beast Coast to do anything about that one. How's he K1? Get into the triangle.
He's got Arteezy at 0 mana, so they know that Arteezy can't fight now for the next few moments. They might look to pressure even harder. Or they might even just look
That's the full BKB right now here, Arteezy, so we'll feel a little safer in the team fights as long as he's able to get
Patay
it over
agad
before
lahat
that
ng mga
first jump.
They might just walk in triangle though,
Noxus.
right? Because yeah, Terrorblade no mana. They know he can't fight. They're gonna just try to clean this area, maybe get some vision in the area too. Everyone very afraid. They're like, let's rally around the pipe. Everyone stand near Nightfall. Make sure that we're okay versus the burst damage.
No.
EG, see there, I'm thinking about trying to set things up onto Whisper, but not an easy hero to go for at all.
And he's got a BKB coming out in the courier right now, so even if they try for it the next time, they might just get fully surprised and turned on. He's just so farmed on this Mars. 209 last hits.
Di ba pinasira?
Smoke up from EG. They want to try and take this fight. Already the Whisper.
Gogo, dalawa.
Two-man spear onto Arteezy. The avalanche.
Nagpa-agad.
Arteezy and Crit caught out by Whisper. EG, is there anything they can find in return? They're trying to go for the Stinger. They won't be able to take out the CM.
Parang CM lang napapatay nila.
Straight for Fly. And a spear pushing back Arbed and Nightfall. Arbed did have a remnant at the ready to get out, but Fly won't escape. Leave all Nightfall. An avalanche from Chris puts a stop to his DP out. As 4 dead on EG. They're trying to get out and look for these fights. But Beast Coast, they're just prepared for them every single time. And this is, of course, the problem with how good Beast Coast is at jumping EG. Arteezy just doesn't have the chance to get his BKB off. Look at this jump.
It's perfect chain stuns every single time, and they all are just following up each other perfectly, right? Chris comes out of nowhere and just cleans it up. That's just
Nag-meta pa siya.
amazing, really, for Beast Coast. Every
CM,
time,
tagal na nilang
more than
patay.
prepared for every single fight. Now they get a rush.
So smooth there from them. The kills, 24/7.
Look at Gojira, right? I mean, for me, his early game has been absolutely ridiculous. Him and Whisper, 7-0 and 13 on the Snapfire. He's kind of set that whole tempo from that bottom fight with the kisses. Yeah, they're really crushing this game right now. EG, and so maybe that pipe was going to be something they could perhaps try to rally around. Has not been the case. They
Wala na.
through it. Yeah.
They fight through it. Sure, the magical's getting
Bubuo
reduced
ako.
a bit, but they've still got a heavy bit of physical. A big old punch, of course, coming out from the Mars, the Tiny, the Slug, and after the stats build up for the Essence ship. A lot of things that EG have to be very, very scared of if Beast Coast are the ones starting the fight.
Yeah, it's like they have this Sven who's got this war cry for Arteezy, but Arteezy's like, I don't need armor. I need to just survive. I need more HP and some type of more magic resist, but they've got really all they can do for him. And Beast Coast just keeps getting onto him. Whisper, every single one.
So for EG now, they did try and smoke out, look for a fight with the BKB on Arteezy. Now that there's an Aegis on K1, do you just have to hold back on that plan, wait for the 4 minutes to pass, or do you still have to take that risk, try and make that move?
I don't know. I don't know what they can really do. The pressure is so immense, really, from how ahead all 3 of these cars are. Who can they really burst down? It's got to be like some type of support. Pretty difficult at the moment. Beast Coast just really controlling the map perfectly. I don't think you could ask for a more crisp 24 minutes.
It's been kill after kill after kill.
Kill a minute, right?
It really has been, yeah.
And it's not like it's on the supports every single time ship fly. He's got 8 deaths, he's got a lot because he's had the soak for the TV, but look at the deaths on the course too, right? 0-3 on Arteezy, 0-4 Abed, 3 kills on Nightfall. It's been great pressure on every single one of those cores for Beast Coast.
I mean, what would you sort of consider the next potential chance or sort of item that the EG, one of their cores, is going to be able to pick up, could give them a better shot of being able to take these team fights? What are they looking towards next as the next sort of power spike that they'll be able to get towards against this pressure of Beast Coast?
I mean, it's the BKBs that are going to come out for both of the cores. The Emperor probably needs one too, but the problem is that they're playing into the double BKB already. Actually, the triple BKB that's going to be coming out from the cores of Beast Coast. So it's
Hello, George!
easy thing to do at all.
CR lang ako, pero mga predict ko wala pala to.
And this bottom lane, T2 in trouble. Not something that EG's going to be able to do too much about right now. They've just got to stay away from Beast Coast. Scramble towards these next items on their course and not prepared to fight.
It's like they have to avoid fights, and even when these situations get to the point where they have to take a fight, I don't know how they're going to really do it. They're going to have some complete miracle where the Tower Blade's able to sit in the back and just wail on targets, but even then, They're so durable. These cores are just so tanky on the side of Beast Coast. And they're not easy to hit either. You know, that slot, there's so many different ways to just reset in and out of the fight. And he doesn't even have shard yet. So that's going to make it so even everyone else is going to be a lot slipperier too for Arteezy to stick on.
Pulls back with TP. Just from crit though, the rest of the EG able to continue to stay out on the map at least. Still being able to farm despite Beast Coast being as close as they are to EG's base right now. Swing over towards the mid, Beast Coast look to push towards another tier 2. Again, attempting to force EG back into a defensive position.
I think we're going to see Beast Coast start to be much more aggressive in a few moments later.
Trying to go for it there. He's able to put the ghost out to get rid of the ultimate. Arteezy will manage to put the BKB in with the meta. They're able to take down Stinger.
He has to run though. With the BKB, he just has to book it. A meta BKB to run. That says everything about the current game state.
A Whisper now godlike on the Mars.
He's on his way to his refresher. He's pretty close to having it already. That's definitely the most far.
Hello, Nicole Marie. Ingay ng pusa. Kumain na yan eh. Nakakainis ko na naman kumain. Ginamos muna at Sardena. Kain tayo garlic pepper beef at spicy chicken joy. Uy, gusto ko yung pepper garlic pepper. Garlic pepper beef. Gusto kala ko pepper lang. Ang ingay ni Mabis. Kakabigay ko ng pagkain. Ay, manahimik. Papatanggal ko na talaga yung itlog mo. Binalagbag sila. Gusto ko. Dami ko tuloy buhok. Wow. Wala ko dyan.
With Aegis. And of course, with a minute left on the Aegis, he can start to tease around with EG right underneath their tier 4s.
Look how spooked they are. He forces the rate back, but that's how scared Nightfall is even though he's at his tier 3. And you mentioned earlier, of course, that rate pack is going to get cleared every fight from the little shredder.
Set him on a Chris. Good force stuff there to get Chris out of the combo, away from the sharpshooter.
Early kisses being thrown. Bit of a whiff.
Chris is falling a little low. He's holding on to the BKB. And Arbed, he's thinking about committing towards some Chris there, but jump forward. In fact, it's K1 that's going to be the one jumping on him, and now they're going to be followed. They'll be able to keep him locked down.
He didn't jump. He continued fighting inside the pouch, waited and waited, and didn't want to jump away, didn't expect a whisper.
Just before this fight, just so close to the BKB on the Ember, about a couple of hundred gold, it was away, Arbed, but didn't have it for this fight, and now, beyond the racks, Beast Coast, they're ready to just continue diving in. Arteezy's
Baka po si Arteezy nag-TP doon.
Ano yun? It's a BKB and a move back to the base. So he'll heal up, but even when he's done, he won't be able to present himself here towards this barracks defense.
Padide, nakala ko karakter na nasa Dota ko na pusa. Padidein mo kasi, hindi na din dead yan. 1-year-old na to eh. Naglalandi lang, papatanggal ko yung itlog na ito ng matigil na. Papakapon ko.
Straight over towards the mid, they may have lost the Aegis, Beast Coast, but I don't think they're going to feel they need to back up anytime soon.
He still has 72 strategy, so wanted to get a little bit of poke. Now they'll reset the lane.
Okay,
good position.
They will. Yep, a little bit of respect to EG. I mean,
Using
they're happy to sort of play this one out.
They also just got like 2,000 gold on every single hero, right? Everyone just got a full item injection. Sure. Then they pick those up, wait for the next fight, clean up the area of the top side, get that tower, and just wait for EG to walk kind of into them, because they can just take anything from the East Coast here.
A lot of money on Gajira as well. Looks like he's going to be picking up the Lotus here for the team. Bash has just been grabbed up by K1.
They're so far. And this Sapphire is getting close to being at the same level how they are in the roots. Yeah, he's got Lotus done. So, tons of different ways to protect his teammates. Great spells to either spell.
Game 1 pa lang, kawawa naman. Bakit kawawa? Gusto lang niyang maglandi. Game 1 pa lang, right? Cherry. Ano? Cherry. Mabis! Lumalabas nga yan. Ang potipid niya, pagbalik niya ito, napakadungis na. Yung nakaraan kasi may nakaaway siya, hindi siya naglalandi, parang gusto lang niya makapag-anuhan. Nagkaroon siya ng sugat dito, natanggal yung isa niyang kuko. Feeling ko naiwan dun sa kaaway niyang pusa. So, hindi siya makalabas. Isang linggo siyang pilay, ganun-ganun. Wala siyang kuko. Ano ko ba dyan? Kulit? Papakapon ko na yun para tumahimik.
Arteezy was able to finish his next time. He's picked up the Silver Edge.
Alright, we'll see what it's going to be able to do. Do they even have the damage to go through any of these cores? Will they kill any of them?
We're talking about Gajira. He's been
Tulog na siya.
so getting rid of him in the
Go pa tayo. Gago hindi makagalaw si Nightfall. Bakit hindi kayo si Nightfall?
The BKB for Chris is about to come to an end. RTZ attempting to close the gap on him.
They want to get one of these cores so bad.
I mean, Chris is getting pretty low. Town with the
napasi el tabi.
He's able to finish him off. Stinger as well looks to be in trouble. Pops the ghost scepter. They'll block him up. RTZ will claim another double kill for Arthur.
All right, seems like the plan is get on top of the Snapfire.
Kaya tabi.
Not a bad plan. Not a bad plan at all, as we saw there. They only had to commit one buyback there. EG flight. Getting back in on the action.
I mean, it's the first time.
Kapag di ako tumigil sa pagmeow, may kalaro siyang batang engkanto.
It's still a long ways.
Sabi ko dyan, Justin, boy.
Quite a lot more of those, but at least they finally do get a kill onto that core.
Gusto lang yan lumabas.
A different approach to the fight, one that we haven't seen from them, or at least be able to do so far this game. Getting Gojira, killing him for the first time this game, and did end up giving that bit of an opening.
Si Nightfall, hindi makaalis
We
eh.
saw in the damage numbers. Once you sort of remove the highest DPS hero from the team, things are probably going to go a little bit better for you in these seed fights.
Yeah, they were able to get a good wraparound and just good connection because the Mars ult also didn't connect perfectly. And so Slark a bit low mana, they all just were a bit awkward about going for a full commitment on the fight on Beast Coast. BG still needs quite a lot more of those. Even though you see TB, he's getting close to the Mars net worth. He's actually ahead of the Slark now. As we said, there's still a lot of things that get on him. Still a tough game for him to carry.
Let's have a look. I see how Beast Coast come back out onto the map after suffering that last.
Hingi ng puso na yung isa ko. Uy, tumigil ka dyan oh.
Pretty much the only rough one they have had this game.
Ano, stars eh.
Of course, they're straight back over onto EG's half of the map. And know that they still have this lead 13k advantage, 30-11.
DD Rune bottom, and Roche is about to spawn 2 seconds. The Spider's constantly being sent across the map to kind of scout it out. Sure. See if Beast Coast goes and checks it themselves. Chris is hunting though. He's still smoked up with that DD, and he has that small crit. It bursts most heroes. They're probably going to go back and check that Roche in a few seconds since they have all this ward. These wards set up, they have all the lanes in good position. Chris still...
Ang konti, Meowke. Ang kulit parang may kaharutan yung pusad dahil sa kanya na mababaliktad tayong laban. Oy, okay lang! Ano yung ano. Tingin ng tingin, nakakabwisit, kakabigay lang ng pagkain. Ang sabi nga, may nabasa ako na hindi dapat kahit umiiyak daw yung pusa, wag daw maawa kasi hindi naman daw katulad ng tao yan na malaki yung bahay natin sa pagkain, sila maliit lang. Matay, nice one. Mo, magpala naman dun oh. Taas na naman siya.
See, having the meta still going, they feel the stronger around the pit. They were able to eliminate the 2 supports.
Whisper still has another round of ult. It's kind of refresh. You guys can see it.
Nabis!
3-man avalanche. There's the arena. Will be able to lock down Arbet with the spear. They're taking out the Ember. Arbet does have a buyback available if he wants to commit towards this Roshan fight. And Nightfall trying to escape the arena, but he's trapped in. Taken down by the God's Review.
Nice one! Comeback pa be!
Immediately buyback to get over towards the Roshan once again. But Roshan is falling.
Naku po, makukuha pa. Wala, hindi pala.
So many ways, as we mentioned from earlier, it's just
Naku po be.
for them to jump in and out of these
Grabe naman tumalon mo.
What a pounce gets the catch. They're able to reset, right? Even though they lost Gojira, didn't have the buyback.
Bilan mo ng Wagyu steak.
To reset in and out of the
Meron ako dito
fight.
Wagyu.
They get it onto Abed, and then
Dahil pinaalala mo.
perfect toss-up.
Yes, BO3. Dahil pinaalala mo yan, Justin, lulutuin ko yung Wagyu ko mamaya.
In terms of the moves that they made,
Yes,
you saw
Jan.
hesitation from Whisper with that buyback.
Yeah. A pretty admirable fight though for being 14,000 gold behind.
Feeling ko dapat nung nag-buyback na yung ano, nag-back na sila eh.
Decent
Yung...
chunk of kills, but now they're going to lose some pretty massive objective damage, maybe even losing
Si
all the racks here.
Whisper.
I mean, it's going to go down pretty fast here to the right clicks. Oh, Chris on the tiny.
And K1, he still has some stacks too, so top.
Ano tayo maglaro? Mel Monday o kaya Tuesday. Bago kami
No matter
umalis.
when he's up 30 seconds.
And then they have one more fight as well, EG. They're going to have to pull everything together here for this last stand against Beast Coast. Beast Coast.
They'll give the respect. They'll back it up.
Further big items being picked up. AC's complete here for Chris.
Dalawa pa lang
No need to
nag-dagger.
really fully rush it here. Pick up these items. Still have Aegis for a few minutes. Almost a Hex finished up also on Whisper. So
Ayun, tatlo nag-dagger.
G looking to maybe take advantage of the fact that the Beast Coast might
Alam ko man change dito.
they can catch
Mana
them.
changer? Sa Robinson.
Moves they do make it.
Oh, all
They
na ba?
have to take those risks.
They're setting
Only way they get back into the game.
Yeah, they're setting the spiders to scout all over. We're seeing the Nightfall on top lane, so they're trying to find something bottom
Tatlo
side.
yung hula ka magdadagger. Ano score?
Here's Gojira. He's able to force off up in time to break
36-14.
chases him out. A further force and the jump with the cookies will dodge the sharpshooter. So Gojira this time will live.
Loko po,
And they certainly have with the Snapfire's alive. Things are probably going to go right on the map for EG. As Fly goes down, Arteezy holding on to his BKB for now.
They know where he is though.
Ay, puta!
BKB is there from Arteezy and BJ responds.
Ano ba yan? Napakamalas naman. Ako nag-ano pa?
Arteezy goes down. No buyback available for him as Beast Coast. They're ready to go for more. Abed able to BKB.
Nag-meta pa. Hindi naman
But
nila.
EG, they've got to try and hold here with just the three of them against the full 5-man push from Beast Coast. No Arteezy for nearly a minute.
That's mega creeps for sure. Arteezy stepped up.
Game 1 pa lang, Boris. I mean, standing. Wala pa. Game 1 pa nga lang, Nicole.
The two times they managed to come out top was when they've been able to catch Gojira outside.
GG na.
And indeed, they'll tap out. There's no coming back for this position. GG is called Beast Coast here in game 1. Looking as hot as ever, really, here against EG. Outside of the two rough fights, it was pretty much perfection from Beast Coast from start to end.
May langgam yung kainan niya,
So much
men.
credit really to this top lane, right? The Mars and the Snapfire, they really set the tempo for this game. I mean, Chris Watt too. Of course, all of them had their parts in it, but that top lane for me.
Let's go EG. Ayun, Boris Byron. Paano?
Net worth majority of the game. That was quite a performance really from Beast Coast.
It was.
They just constantly shut them down, and it was all three cores, right? Like we mentioned, it wasn't like they're getting all these kills on the supports. They're getting the kills on the big targets.
It really was, and it's something that we've seen in the past from Beast Coast when they get themselves onto the main stage or here at any sort of LAN. They just pop off to another level. The way they're in sync with each other, it just doesn't get any better. And EG, they're going to have to step it up coming into game 2 because this game 1, Beast Coast going to be on a bit of a different level here. So they'll get the first victory in this best of 3. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Odie Pixel and Fog. Yeah, Beast Coast coming out the gates super strong here in game 1.
Thank you sa live, Bloody. Yes, meron pa namang game 2.
Making all the rotations simultaneously keeping their hair.
Wala pa naman. So,
Guys, do you wanna break down?
mabilis lang to. Pero Diyos ko, wag naman sana, B. Ito si Abed, oh. Laban, bed! Diyos ko, hindi naman kayo magpatalo. Pa-finals pa, oh. Nakakaloka. Grabe naman kasi yung Mars.
I am war.
Go Papa Ara! Diba? Dikita pa kami. So, 26 kami. Sana magharap ni EG at Boom. Sana nga, pero pag natalo pa sila dito, wala na, be.
Divine grace. I hunt. Do it. Awesome. No doubt. Move out.
Daya eh.
Behold me. I never let go of my shield. I'll figure something out. No.
natin.
Shiva's God. Hard to harass. I choose this path myself.
Pogo, hindi mo bawas. Lawyer. Tapos may damage pa. Medusa.
As the biggest prize.
No, yeah, pwede mag-skill kahit nakagano. Pwede mag-big look pag nakagano.
Our lines will never break.
Oh.
Almost there.
Hello, Sunny Del Fiero. Shout out. Waiting lang tayo guys sa game 2.
Holy protector.
Hindi pa sila start eh. Naka-main menu pa si Abed eh. No, puro kalbo.
Thank you very much. Some insight. That was some insight.
Puro kalbo.
Exclusive. You've never heard it before. This is a tip.
That's a bit. Back to you.
Thank you very much. Some insight.
Si Eri. Hello, ano Carla, sa Wednesday, 7 p.m. tayo lalaro.
They've had essays number for a very long time. In fact, I want to take you real far back. E.g. in South America, this is a storied rivalry, all the way back to, let's say 2015. Let's say Evil Genius's PPD. Does that ring a bell to you? And them always going head-to-head in South America. Back then, it was the Brazilians. It was Pain Gaming. Can't really say that SA was too respected of a region back then. PPD, he didn't want to play on those servers. All universe, though, he was trying to come to the defense of South America. It took a little bit of time, though. It took the Dota Pro circuit to really foster the region. It took all the way to, let's say, the Ana Major, when things started to finally turn around. Poor Beast Coast was on the cusp of being able to qualify to TI. It was all up to Evil Geniuses. EG had to take out two of the teams, TNC and Enigma Galaxy, to let Beast Coast in to TI-10. Te quiero mucho, Arturito. But it goes both ways. Beast Coast, they'll repay their debt. 1 year later, come to TI-11, the Arlington Major. All of a sudden, EG's in trouble. They're in just the border of being able to directly qualify. Fnatic and Outsiders, if they place high, say it's sayonara to Evil Geniuses. But Beast Coast repays their debt. They save Private Artezi, and they bring EG all the way to this TI. Now, will Beast Coast giveth and taketh away? Will they do it in a 2-0 fashion? We'll have to find out with this next game.
Thank you very much, Tsunami. Yeah, it's, you know, there's a history, and it's, I want to say hi, by the way, Tsunami. How are you doing? I hope they're going to turn your mic back on in a moment.
I'll hang out. I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah, we've seen you over in the corner kind of preparing these segments. You've been playing a lot with your new toys.
I have been. It's been a delight to augmented reality enhance the experience. I thought that you were a hologram for the first day.
Yeah, I also got told though you did say you asked to make all the Dota heroes smaller. Could you tell us?
Listen, the scale is just inherently off. There are mere pixels on my screen. I'm glad that you're all sitting because then I would also feel somewhat underscaled. But we're fine right now. Please stop.
Wait.
Don't break the panel up.
This is why they only let a certain amount of people over here because we too many Dota commentators in one room and panelists. It just goes haywire. But to get your opinion on Game 2, what are you thinking between EG and Beast Coast?
I know Bulba was particularly thrilled about getting the Broodmother as a first pick. I remain reluctant. Nightfall's been doing great on the hero. In fact, I think this was only his second loss on the Broodmother. But time and time again, I see stubbornness be the downfall for Evil Genius drafts. I think Broodmother might be one of those things that they might need to go back to the lab. And same thing with the Sven. I know Fly's been doing great on Sven as well, but it's becoming a bit telegraphed. You can get away with it in group stage, but come bracket play, come against South America, you gotta wrap it up.
All right, and the teams are on their way out. Thank you very much, Tsunami. And we look forward to getting more AR and more Tsunami and hopefully Purge in the future as well as the teams enter for Game 2. This is potentially the elimination game for Evil Geniuses. Tsunami mentioned, yes, maybe stubborn, but they've, you know, a seasoned team. They've got a lot that they can show here on stage. They've got a lot that they can draft. You know, I'm really looking forward to see if they can, you know, kind of get Arteezy more involved and more comfortable. It did feel like those lanes really kind of didn't allow him to play his game. But on the side of Beast Coast, what a great storyline. If they can get through this low bracket, beating out EG would be huge. And, you know, so many South American fans, you know, this has really been a great year for SA.
Yeah, 100%. You mentioned about how great that previous game was. I think in the pre-show you mentioned how EG, they rely on like Arbet, crit, they kind of unlock everyone off the plate. Beast Coast did an exceptional job of just preventing them from having their games. So we never got to see EG hit their form that allowed them to top their groups. And ever since that loss to Boom, then they lose to Thunder Awaken, and now this game as well. It's like we feel like we've not seen EG really leave laning phase with a position which they can play. I feel like they've now had multiple games of back-to-back where they just ended hoping for a mistake from their opponents.
But that's usually EG as well, right? Their mid lane might win, but overall they look for an evenish laning stage, a draw perhaps, and then they slowly control the map, they farm it all up. They were never considered like this ultra-aggressive team that's going to...
Shout out kay Romeo Kaiman, pinapawatch ako to kasi wala raw maingay na caster during live. Nakaka-focus daw siya. Nakaka-focus daw siya manood. Hello Romeo Kaiman, galing kay Mayel de la Cruz. Shout out po, thank you so much. So guys, ayun. Wait, game na tayo sa game 2. Move na pala tayo sa game 2 mga B.
unlock more of the map. Because if
Kapit!
Beast Coast
Patalo!
is a massive priority for them, you can at least try then to fan out across the map and outfarm them a little bit. And you're not doing that when you're not taking these towers. So we saw RTZ instead go mid with the meta and die there. Instead, I think if they had used more of their forces to go bot and take that tower, that would have been a stepping stone to start getting the map back.
Yeah, for sure. Just being able to open up the map and just play your heroes. And like when you look at the historical games between EG and Beast Coast, the time that they are beating Beast Coast is when they have just really strong, robust lanes that can take the fight. Like in Arlington, they had Viper Marcy. In the Stockholm Major, they had Tide Hunter with some Shaman and Quartz. Like these heroes that just do well and then just overwhelm at a strong point. And in this previous game, it was more just we exist, take towers, and we continue farming, and then we pressure.
But you could see the idea, right? Like eventually, if the TV has a decent, like we can't just backtrack everything we said.
No, like, I mean, if the Brood had a good lane, it's completely different. Right?
Exactly. You kind of take over the enemy map, then the Ember can actually catch the backlines. In this game, Ahmed felt neuter, like he couldn't do anything. He couldn't cut to those backlines. He couldn't deal with the Crystal Maiden or with Gojira, and they played extremely well. Like we just can't talk about these things that EG hasn't done.
Yeah, we'll just have to see what they're going to do this time round. Thank you, Lizard, because we're ready for game 2. We'll be heading into the draft momentarily.
Ah?
Beast Coast
Ayun na pala.
versus Evil Geniuses.
Inubos mo na? Meron pa ba dong... Meron pang ganon?
Game 2. Getting ready to
Meron dalawa pa.
Oh. Moments away as they
Kasi
will soon be
sa baka sa Monday,
this could
bumili
be
ako.
EG out of the international. But of course,
Si Mabis wala na rin, no?
But if you were to winning this and
Ayan na lang.
what would you say if you were kind of back with EG? Like, where would the talk be? Because it's not that they just lost their first game, it's that actually this is a continuation of a bit of a lost streak. So if you're a captain, if you're a coach, are you kind of now getting a little bit worried?
No, I don't think you should have fear at all at this point. I know it's hard, but...
Well, he's a panelist now, so you wouldn't be able to get him.
No, I wouldn't. That's true. Anyways, I'm going to try my best. My mum won't be proud. But yeah, I think it's more about identifying what's gone wrong. I think I mentioned it before. They've had like 4 or 5 games in a row now where they've not left lane phase with any wins to their lane. Pretty much, it feels like. So they need to go in and go. Let's respect Beast Coast aggression. Let's try and match them fight at least in it. We don't need to be super aggressive playstyle and change EG, but we just need to be able to enter the lane and go. We're going to kill this hero. We're going to dominate a lane, and that's probably it. Just a little pep talk. Kill her.
Perhaps something like different position 5 can help with that, because if you identify their losses as well, you have a very passive fight. You have Sven. Later on, of course, he's strong. He brings the tilt, he brings the war trap. In the laning stage itself,
set up kills.
It doesn't set up kills.
It's not a Marcy.
Exactly, and it won't really dominate the lanes. You have to respect that Beast Coast are coming out all guns blazing. Like if you lose the laning stage that hard, they won't let you recover.
Yeah. And maybe that's a little bit of confidence from EG with like, hey, lanes we can win and lose a couple, but don't worry, we're going to fall back on those mid-time. But last match, we lost all 3 lanes. Still on the bit of the EG train, do you agree? Just like, focus on the... No, we're on the train right now.
I want to get on the Beast Coast train.
You want to get off the EG train, because it could be going over a cliff. Okay?
I gotta get out of here.
Yeah. You've got first-class tickets to Beast Coast. You're sat up front. So Beast Coast, what are they thinking if they come into game 2? Because they've got room to play, but of course you don't really want to play in the lower bracket, even though you're 1-0 up.
Oh no, they love playing in the lower bracket for sure. I think for both teams, obviously Beast Coast can just keep playing the way they're playing. It's working for them. They have a comfort. They are in their style now. They kind of. This is one of the good things about group stages. You sort of just like figure out the kinks and problems that your team has if you're losing there and take to the bracket. But for EG. Yeah, hopefully they're able to assess, like Bold was able to help them assess like where the main problem was. I think they just didn't have a proper vision of their win condition for the game and weren't able to really put pressure on that. So if they go into this game 2 with more of like an idea, maybe, like we said, easier lanes, maybe an actual way to take towers more easily, right? Like the trap.
I think it was like
whatever.
20 minutes until the first tower went down.
Yeah.
Bakit nakala?
That is a very efficient way for them to get a foot in the game and give themselves the breathing space to be able to execute their strategy.
I just got me into this draft, and it's instantly 3 bans, like one after the other, and then it's like the final ban is just think about it, and this time the allocation is simply EG is going to be first pick, So Beast Coast, they now need to pick 2 heroes.
Smart.
Respecting the fact that if EG wants to continue
Eyes
the
are
Brood, they're not going to be able to counter pick after Safe Brood. They're going to have 3 buttons on a curve, then they get to go for it.
Si Ice. Ito naman yung dog namin. Di ko na narinig shoutout niya. Uy, sinoutout kita, Romeo Kayman, Agonia. Shoutout sa'yo dyan. Hello, Joms G. Colados. Hello, Benji. Ito ang naman ang dog namin. Si Ice. Nasaan si Mabis? Mabis? Ayun, si Mabis. Ito naman dog namin. Hello, Joms! Naging... Aray! Sakit. Lagi nakalabas ang dila. Mahaba kasi dila niya. Oh, punta mo si Mabis, nag-iingay. Dali, patahimik mo si Mabis. Punta mo si Mabis. Pa! Kahapon nag-away sila. Ayusin nyo draft nyo, EG! Sabi. Uy. Kita-kit sa 26.
You pick up this Beastmaster, you play around them. We see the value of Nyx Vendetta. You can't actually, if teams are grouped up, it's kind of weak. So now it's forcing Beast Coast to think about that a little bit differently and emphasis on countering Beastmaster on the lane.
By the way, did you guys expect Crystal Maiden to have as sick of a win rate as she is having at the moment? Like, what's happening here before TI? Oh, okay, I see.
Do you know the team meeting before TI starts?
Arcana for the wolf.
For the wolf. She turned into a wolf. Is that just... There's a persona.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I spent so much money. I spent so much money on my battle pass, but I haven't been happy.
I think her win rate makes sense though because she's just good against
Storm Abed. Feeling mo, Michael. Naku. Tingnan natin. Bid! Ano?
Pick rates, right? CM's just nice against him in the lane. And the same with his Brood. Like, all this attacks are slow, which he provides, and kill threat in lane, which seems to be really nice. We've totally seen a shift in boss fives, going from these old warlocks and dazzles and stuff that just secures the lane to, we're just going to try and kill the offlane, and CM's great at that.
Did you expect that? Because the moment they nerfed region, everyone was all in. Like, all in on the healers, right?
I thought that was
Everything's
weird,
was
because we didn't used to have this meta of sharing salves, which meant that Dota was used to be in a playable state where we didn't rely on just healing, so it made sense that we didn't
Pamphlets, alright?
Yeah, exactly.
Carries are so pampered. All cores got pampered, bottle refills, salves. Finding support that can play the heroes that you want to play.
Patigilin mo si Mabis.
That bottle buying didn't ever become too popular. Because I remember, there was a month in which my mid lanes would ping me, buy me a bottle. I'm like,
I'm pretty sure Center did that the first time.
James tried that as well.
Some carries like to be bottle fed. Not gonna name names.
Sure, that's what you like.
I say carries, but
I like the gratitude that Carrie gives me when I buy bottles.
The joke did not land. Continue, panel.
Sorry, this has been derailed.
I'm not going to say that. It's good. Continue.
No, I like this moment of awkwardness, actually. I'm just going to continue saying nothing.
Okay.
I've just got a lot better here at the International. Welcome back. Sheets, take us away.
Thank you. So this current opening from EG.
So pag hindi na tong EG, may mawawala. Ay, naku! Charot.
Timing of TB with our mid-game Brood timing. This time they have a Beastmaster. There's a chance he gets
Ay,
in
talaga,
the lane, which could kind of
hindi
slow their timing down. But if we've seen like Visitors pair up well with the Beastmaster. Marcy's still in the pool if they want to go for an aggressive support that can rotate on mid.
Tapos next dito is boom. Gulong talaga. EG top 1 sa group stage, biglang 1 game na lang eliminated na. Boom Esports 1.42 chance to qualify to play. So now they also beat Spirit defending champ. Oo nga. Ganun talaga kasi hindi natin masasabi talaga yung Dota eh. Nakakano, nagpakalbo pa to.
Will not help you versus someone ranged, just wailing down on you.
Yeah, there's a lot of range heroes that are quite nice to play against this fact. And then you have Terrorblade, Drow, Sniper, all these heroes still in the pool and potentially to be picked up. SF is the only one that's gone right now.
And it's synergized as well because Nyx
Sniper as well.
But yeah, Sniper. Because like Nyx doesn't really apply pressure in lane, it's like a lane secure.
Nice!
It often paired with ranged heroes. Because Nyx secures lanes, ranged
Pinakagat
heroes
mo yung itlog.
And then when you have this like CM plus any aggressive style carry, it just makes it a lot easier. And in regards to the ban for EG, they banned out like the Enchantress trying to cover the Beastmaster lane, they block picked the CM, and now Beast goes to go for like one of the only options left really.
Right, it's one of the best ones versus Beast, but it's not like in the old days. We have this Beastmaster, you pick Enchantress or Chant, he can't lane. You just go Axis, right? Like you still do the same thing. You can go for Raid Pact, just lane against that. Perhaps not as easily, but it should be completely fine for EG.
Yeah, we have versatility in Beastmaster for sure. But hopefully it's not as stubborn as the old days at least.
Then again, Chen brings much more to the table than just being strong against Beastmaster, right?
Yeah, the fact that there's a lot of tanks with Beast Coast. It's Leshrac going for a Bloodstone, you have the hill from Chen and Mech, Nick's Assassin is naturally being strong carapace. If EG, if they commit to a fight and they're not getting that kill in that moment, the secondary fight, the prolonged fight, that's where they might struggle. And that's why they go for these more skirmishing heroes.
Are we hyped for Crit Mirana?
I am...
Hello, Kenneth Garcia. Simula nung na-0-2 ang EG ng Boom, hindi na nanalo isang game. Naku, Kenneth hindi pa ako lalaro Mananood pa rin ako ng Boom.
But they don't have an actual stun outside of Primal, not Primal Beast, the Roar from Beastmaster. They have 2 roots, so when Beast Coast start to buy like Lotus Orbs and Dispels, it's a lot harder to get these guaranteed arrow setups.
I feel like if Beast Coast pick Conquer themselves like right now, that is all the damage mitigation required to be strong enough that you can brush off EG's aggression. Like,
so you would lane Nyx / off lane and Kankan.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Like that type of idea, and you just... I'm a bit worried for EG's damage. If it's the same as last game, right? If they don't come out ahead in lanes, having the CM with Ron who can't find kills, your Beastmaster who can't pressure towers, Embers, like, it could be the same story if Beast Coast come out ahead in lanes.
One thing that James did talk about earlier is crit and how if he's on fire, EG is on fire. And this is a game that's a perfect setup for him. Like on the offline, you play with Beast, but also versus Chen. You can deal with him. Plus, you can rotate toward mid because it doesn't look that great. Like you have Ember, but that's more than enough setup for a Mirana, for a crit Mirana. Chains into arrow, the Leshrac can really suffer on the mid lane.
But it could be offlane because if it's Beast Coast.
Yeah, of course it could be offlane.
Whisper is one of the guys that made Lesh offlane like really good. He took the idea from Brax, made it his own, and he's played it in Arlington. And he can play it again here if he feels like it.
It applies for anything though, right? Like chains, arrow.
It is really nice, but this Naga pick is. I talk about the dispels. There's one right there on this carry.
And you also have this kind of double set cover because Leshrac now protects the Naga where EG obviously can't go for a PL pit, which is another potential option into Naga. Pacing wise would have been a little bit weak for EG. So just the synergy of Leshrac covering the illusion killing heroes and then this Naga going lane forces, it kind of doubles down on Beastmaster where he needs to go axes for the magic damage to apply pressure, but that build feels good for a little bit of lane, but then you don't really farm later because you don't have the ball. It forces Beastmaster to be a tricky hero, less tower pressure. So Beastmaster really just put this other defense.
Do you think he was going to do it anyway because of...
For sure, but it's like...
Because of the Chen?
It now even feels like it's worse, right?
Yeah.
This Naga pick looks really good for lanes and the things you highlighted, but in the game it can be obviously really hard when playing into the magic damage from all of Crystal Maiden's AoE spells, the Starfall, this Maelstrom on Ember Spirit is going to cause problems as well. It's also harder for Naga to skirmish and fight with her team the same way Slark did last game, so her participation is going to be probably a little bit worse this game, which means this last pick, we don't know yet if it's Whisper or Chris Luck, but that's going to be very pivotal in making sure that they have a good tempo running. And it's hard as well because Nyx and Chen are not typical playmaking supports. Nyx is pretty strong, mostly because the game's sort of like slowed down and you can find more pickoffs, so they're probably playing more pickoffs in my opinion.
But do you think that just because they're a little bit slower, you have this slash from the offlane or the mid lane to actually push the tempo, and then Nyx can actually set up
Pero still Avid Wittress, Ember.
Be that mid shield for Edict. It's
Ember na naman. Pero maganda naman tong Ember. Dapat tiny, ayan, binan nila yung tiny.
And the Alchemist, okay, the lifestealer.
Ember para sa Naga.
That's
lifestealer.
A little bit aggressive from EG, I would say, right? Like they're going a little bit all in earlier on.
Uy, game 2. Ay, game 3.
We're going to play this, Ember has a good game, Lifestealer gets combo items, and we want to try and fight and win the game before Naga even gets to her items, because like Naga beat Lifestealer, even if pumps like Naga, in pro pumps, it's beating Lifestealer consistently. Like, this isn't like some
your carry's gonna have a bad game.
Is there some sort of an item that you can go for, like back in the day, maybe Mjolnir or something like that? Probably not.
Suggest a Radiant situation here? I hope not.
I mean, maybe a Radiance on Maelstrom.
There was a time in which we would go for Radiance. Like, why is Pudge even bad out here? Because naturally he brings items that are good versus Naga, right? Can Lifestealer do the same?
In theory, yes, because the items don't feel too bad.
Sana nga DJ Otor! Mako, magdilang anghel ka. Wag naman sana malaglag yung AJ.
It's kind of nice though, you know, if you're gonna have a, you know, if you're gonna
Diba?
go
Wag naman pala desisyon.
I just thought I was going crazy. You're not listening because I know Slacks is going to.
Hey, Jace! Lalabas, Jace. Mabis!
Where's
Eli?
And you know, don't worry. It takes years, but you have ignored. Yes.
No! Do you think it's Friday?
Yeah, go. Oy, pwede mag-play si Eli. It's Friday. Where's your iPad? No.
Compliment the lineup.
Tanong mo kay Mami.
I think this Lifestealer could just be the Maelstrom stuff and Desolate. They're just trying to push Towers with the Beastmaster.
I care no drafts. Bold energy from Slacks was too strong. I'm going for game 3.
We've heard him over here, and we're excited for you guys to chat with Slacks because he is going to have an interview with Beast Coast. Let's see how they feel about game 2.
Thank you so much. Hello, guys. I am here with watching the manager and Rayfield, the coach of Beast Coast. Thank you so much for taking time. So, want to ask you, a lot of comfort heroes coming through on this draft. The Chen, the Nyx. I believe you guys have not been beaten on your Nyx yet. So, I want to know just how confident you were going into this game.
Estamos picando héroes que son muy comfort para nosotros. Hasta ahora creo que no hemos perdido ningún juego con Nyx. También piqueamos el Naga y el Chen. ¿Qué tan confiante estás con este draft?
Bastante confiado, ¿no? O sea, sé que ellos darán lo mejor de sí y responderán bien, pues.
Well, we are very confident. I know they're going to play the best they can. So I believe in them, and it's pretty much we're confident.
Oh, Eli! You can play na! Oh my God! Game na!
Bumili ako ng Zoro.
Oh my God! Really?
O sa SM, doon sa ano, sa taas sa SM. Lapit lang yun.
Total number played.
Evil Geniuses and the Beast Coast. This is Evil Geniuses' last chance, right?
Will the tower be
Hold on here. That is it for them. And after such an
10
incredible
minutes?
stage,
Yeah.
which if anything just gives more credit to how well Thunder
No.
Awaken and now Beast Coast are playing against them. You know,
They're
what will
playing tight
EG have to do
everything.
to try and get back that magic that they had days before?
Bed.
They just have to start, just clean up this early game, right? It really, everything
Na,
fell
ha?
apart
Huwag
before the
kayo.
15-minute mark, it felt like in the last game. So let's see if they can do it this time. They did go for this Ember again, which has
Hello, Jay Ador.
of course, we've seen a lot of lane.
Jace, you will always close the door.
So much. See what Ivan's going to be able to do this. It can be a little difficult versus the Lash, but you can still, you know, do a lot with your Flame Guard and your slide dodges and stuff like that. So we'll see how it fares versus the Lash. And in the mid game, right? Because Ember, Nyx Assassin can be really troublesome to play this Ember in a lot of situations.
Excited to see sort of how the carry matchup works this time around. It's the second time today that we will have seen a Lifestealer played into an illusion carry. Earlier we had it against PL.
Go EG. Go EG. Sapa!
Similar direction being taken by RTC this game. Do you like sort of that approach in terms of what carry to pick into a Naga Siren lineup?
I think people just also, you want to make sure you get like this good lane as well, and it's a hero that actually can, you know, like you said, you itemize, you will be able to withstand the pressure of these illusions at some point. So I think it can work, and he also does have, it's not like it's just him on his own, right? He does have the Emperor as well too, so if it was just a Lifestealer versus these illusion cores, then I'm always very worrisome. But even earlier we saw, when it was the Lifestealer versus the PL, he had like an Earth Shaker, he had all these different elements to help him as well too. So I think it's, you know, it's not always like the best pick to deal with the illusion, but if you have some other complements, it can work out. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I'm going to be looking a lot at Abed. I think last game, it was one of the rougher games I think I've ever seen from him, so let's see how much he's going to be able to do.
Galing kasi neto ni Leshrak, ang tagal magbitaw ng
Did not pay off. So we'll have to see if he has a bit of a better chance getting that early momentum that he wants to be able to find. to allow him to continue to make aggressive plays throughout the mid-game as an Ember Spirit and just be able to be a part of BG just closing down the map and limiting the areas that K1 feels safe to sort of place himself.
And let's see how well game Nightfall is able to have this time too, because he tends to be the kind of the guy for BG that really sets the tempo and pressure. So let's see what he's going to be doing on the Beastmaster this time, because he is playing versus Chad, one of the harder counters in a way versus the Beast as the game progresses, because even when you get your Helm of Overload, he can get his shard, he steals your ancients, there's so many plays you can do as a Chen versus Beast, so see how Nightfall is going to
Friday, pwedeng mag-play si Eli. Oh my God! What's happening?
Of course, top lane as well, you know, Whisper, last pick of the draft, getting the Brewmaster this game. We saw him pop off, and once again, as he opened many of the performances for Beast Coast last game on the Mars.
Oh my God, yung crowing niya.
Beast Coast, they've got to feel just as good, if not even better, than what they're able to see Whisper on in terms of heroes, because this is one that you can completely control the team fights with.
And they will have two different ways of completely controlling team fights, right? They have Naga Siren and Brew, so they have a lot of different ways where it's like, oh, this fight's not ours, we can full disengage, or this is a fight where, oh man, it looks like we can stop them, we can actually fully surround them with the Brew and the Naga Siren. So right now, no one really being left too far behind Beastmaster. We see a little bit of pressure, of course, from that Chen, but he's going to go for the Axe route, not having any of those summons early on. Should be able to catch up.
Chen pala.
Naga Siren, it does mean K1's just going to have a full free farm lane, which always tends to be pretty problematic when K1's able to do stuff like that. That being said, RTZ is also getting it. And we are seeing, of course, the switch of like 5 Murata again, right? We've seen him multiple times now today. Crit playing in the top lane, and we have to see him playing bottom.
Lalabas! Ayun na!
Very much one of the support.
Bakit po kasi in-open yung door? Trixie! Alam mo na. First blood.
5 Murata, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to start seeing that on your phones probably. Honestly, if you go for like the chase when people are pulling creeps, it's pretty good. You can do pretty decent right click investment and stuff. Nicely done. And now also, so looking at this mid matchup, you see the Ember doing pretty well. He actually has the potential to get rotations from the Arrow from Crit too. If they do get
Patay ata.
Waiting to dive the tower. You saw the potential there, Chris. Very fortunate he was able to get the stun off himself at the same time. So the damage was limited that Abed could get out onto Chris during that stun from Crit.
I was gonna say, I wonder if Abed does look to grab an early point of change to set up for these type of early rotations, but I mean, didn't need it that time. But Chris will get some help, of course. Gojira coming in, and they will be double checking these runes. An Arrow connects again. Crit able to take that one away.
Some good early positioning here from Crit.
I like how he's playing it too, because he knows now Lifestealer's in a 1v1 matchup versus the Brew, so Arteezy's just fine. He's going to build a free farm. Whisper's going to get farmed too, but Arteezy's under no pressure here. Actually getting some decent hits perhaps onto Whisper. There's a lot of creeps though. 2 waves, over 2 waves adding up.
Anything the Beast Coast heroes can do with that sort of pressure that's going to build up underneath the tower with these waves?
Not with these 2 heroes.
Gulo ng creeps.
Next going versus the Lifestealer, it's pretty difficult. They can hurt Crit a little bit, but I don't think up here they can almost ever pressure Arteezy.
Daming creeps, gagi.
And that's the reasoning why we did see that Lifestealer pick. You know, we were talking about so much. Yeah, they have this Naga Siren and everything. It's not the greatest versus Naga, but in the entirety of the game versus Lesh, versus Nyx, and even versus that last pick Brew, pretty good game for the Lifestealer. Just the rage in general is going to be really effective.
Oh, for sure. And of course, because that Brew was
Daming creeps, gagi.
you would imagine, well, when Beast Coast were grabbing it, they weren't expecting it to be able to have its strengths in the laning stage.
No,
it's for all the other parts of the game, so
absolutely.
This is all as expected for Beast Coast in terms of the outcome of top lane.
Yeah, and it's for like the itemization of everything too in mid game, because he's going to go for this Wraith Pact, maybe in this game, because he has played versus Murata, and Murata is kind of a Wraith Pact.
Ngayon si M para sa mga neutral.
We'll see. And now he's got Earn Q. And there's just a crazy amount of wave pulling going on here. And Gojira is just completely abandoned top. He's like, I can't slow down our team.
Yeah.
Oh, all 3 lanes.
I mean, it makes sense, right? Yeah, because Whisper's still going to be able to soak up the golden XP. Yeah. Raga would get there for the solo element of it, so he can get that 6 as soon as possible.
Yeah, he can pull Mirana the Lifestealer. He can just, drunken haze and run out of there.
And the same to be said, in turn, Crit, he's not
Papahabol lang talaga.
continue just hovering.
Yung quart.
Huge play from Gojira.
Kay Jan.
The TP back from Abed from the low ground stun. And that new stun cast range, that's 750. Pretty much everything there.
The movements. EG will still be able to maintain control around the 6-minute power, and it was a haste stream for Abed.
A pretty important one, really, for him to get, because he did get that TP cancelled for the fill up. Smile. Chris Luck will go bottom. We'll be able to get his own bounty route to fill it up. And we do see K1 now start into the jungle. So slight lead in the laning phase here for EG. Nothing too crazy. About 200 and 300 on each of the counterparts.
Wala mo nang babasag ng 10 minutes.
Does mean this is Helm. Helm is pretty much done. Down bottom for the Beast. And he does actually start skilling these forests, so the Chen's going to be able to turn them against them.
Isang bite lang kasi yung mga neutral.
We'll see which sort of route RTZ wants to go with this build. When you are trying to scale up against Illusion Carry, do you still always get the armlet first, or is there potential to kind of go for that Maelstrom or farming item a bit quicker?
I always think Armlet's the most core item ever on Lifestealer, and kind of can't deviate too much. But we'll see. I mean, right now he's just got the phase on the Bracer. Maybe he's feeling like he's not going to get it early enough that he does want to go Maelstrom, but I think Armlet Maelstrom's fine. He's got the Ember, as we said, so he's already got a hero that can also deal with the Naga sometimes earlier on. But we shall see. Maybe he goes for more right click. I don't know. Nope.
He's going to. Yeah. I mean, this is, I think, the temptation. You know, just getting the armlet. Sometimes when you're trying to play this matchup, and you know you're going to be farming for the most part. You're not looking to turn up to fights with that first time. You're just looking to clear through the jungle, clear through your half of the map.
I guess that's the reason, right? He's under no contention. Even when they do bring heroes to his lane, he's like, they can't actually like threaten me too much. So I'm just going to be full free farm game. Okay.
Secret and Fly trying to get a bit of information deep in the East Coast half of the map.
They try to slow down this Naga Siren. As they see the Chen just like soaking down bottom, they know that Hector is just full jungle. They actually find anything. But Nightfall, still level 5.
We'll be able to get Gajira here. A Frostbite. And with both spells on cooldown,
Oh,
has to verify, but another leap's there from Crit. He'll get in and take the kill. Chris able to find Flight and return back in the river.
Does get a trade for it. Abed with the DD. Very strong rune on the Ember Spirit early on here with the max light.
Chris has got to stay right back. I mean, he knows that if Abed hits another slight, very likely that Abed will dive the tower for him. Chris gets right back into the track.
You just wait for
Sa ilalim na.
disappear before you walk back toward that mid lane for sure. Yep, that does mean tower pressure. Abed and Crit able to hit mid tower. TP to mid, we get bottle refill in time. And yeah, talking about Abed, you know, we saw that he had a bit of a rough one in the last game. He actually has a much easier game this time versus all these, you know, doesn't have as many stuns that he has to worry about. Last game, it's like everyone had it disable. This time, it's the Nyx and the Lash that he has to worry about mostly, so a lot freer of a time. But Carapace is really annoying.
It is very,
so
very much. Bottom Nightfall.
Tipi na ba?
Straight away to give him a chance to run.
Bakit di pa siya nag-tip? Eh, wala siyang mana.
Already bit of a body block coming from K1 and the micro of his illusions leaves no escape for Nightfall. So Raw expended, wasn't able to get out alive. At the same time, at another entry point of the jungle, they find Crit hovering around the stairs. So a couple of kills for Beast Coast, and they make sure that EG does not feel too safe coming back over to their half of the map.
And Whisper, he actually used the Thunderclap, totally missed the neutral creeper, otherwise he would have probably been able to kill it a little earlier. Might still be able to get it with the next one. But making sure he actually was maximizing when he used the split to kill the beast. And when he used the split to kill the beast earlier, he actually used the Dispel to kill the boar and everything too, so he actually maximized quite beautifully on this brew.
Okay, 10 minutes, walang nabasag.
The moment sitting there
Tama ang aking hula.
of the cause in terms of net worth, but if anything from his previous performances are to go by, you know the Whisper's going to be
Correct.
very, very soon. Always ends up incredibly rich here from the off-lane position.
And he wants to be a little bit more like active of moving around just because he doesn't want to sit in the lane versus a lifestealer so much, so for these constant kills and pressure on lanes.
Yeah, and of course we'll get to the point in this game where it's K1 playing a Naga Siren. He's going to be soaking up all the waves, he'll be taking the majority of the farm that presents itself on the map. So it's sort of a different spread of value that you'll expect to see grow for each of Beast Coast cores this time round.
Let's see what EG can find. Whisper shows himself, he's quite durable though.
A split, still on cooldown. TP reactions coming in. EG can get the kill quick enough. They're struggling to kill him at sort of the pace that they would hope for. RTZ continues to push on, will get him. They lose Crit in return. We'll see if RTZ can get out of this. He has the Infest, is able to jump into Arbed, and Arbed, with a Remnant at the ready, will be able to deliver RTZ back to safety.
That was close. If that stun catch, it actually almost catches the both of them there, could potentially be a disaster. But they do end up cleaning up Whisper. They do get a trade out of it though, so Beast Coast not the most fussed about it. We did see how tanky he was there, that Brew. Even though he's only got the 1 point in the Drunken Brawler, he did have that older Frost Mage, I believe, that Ice Arm.
Yeah, they're able to buff him up, but
yeah.
quite able to keep him alive long enough. A nice read there from EG to know that they could get away with that sort of an aggressive play. Something they struggled to do in the early stages of Game 1. Already 11 minutes in, 5-3. EG definitely going to be feeling a lot better out of the laning stage than they did at this point in the first game of the series.
Absolutely, I mean, night and day difference. Now Stinger, I mean, look at this positioning from the Chen. Up here alone, trying to pressure Arteezy in the tower. He's getting a lot of damage on top of
bottom lane. Another split and another
Walang,
attempt to kill on towards Nightfall's Beastmaster. Turn with the Roar.
Walang sight.
Get away. Okay, in the Moonlight Shadow, they'll be able to reset. That was a cool move, though. While we were looking, the play happening bottom, the Chen was actually making sure that he kept the catapult alive as long as possible, top with his creeps, just like kind of sacrificing them.
Good chain setup.
Oh!
Quite able to land it there, a little too far away, too much travel time.
But they're forcing them away from the tower. So tier 1, likely to fall here with that nominated creep also coming in. Totally different game state, as we said. This time they're able to get 2 towers on the side of EG early game. Beast Coast not able to set that tempo yet.
Bite, B, bite. Nice one.
He's got it. Quick frostbite, and the setup's there for Arteezy to pick up a nice bit of bonus gold. Gets the kill.
Look at his positioning there, a little aggressive there from Stinger.
Nasa sa taas yan. Objective! Kanina pa yan. Nice one.
Swiftly done there. Arrow is already coming in, and Arbet able to make sure that Chris is held in position for it to hit bang on target.
I mean, these two Beast Coast heroes completely in no man's land. Nobody even relatively close to them. The ward, of course, coming into play there. Seeing that the Lesh was alone in that top lane. Good movements, 5-5. Still seeing the Nog at the top, but not by too much. TZ is keeping up. And he's actually going to go back for the armlet.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, as you said, armlet, you always want to have it on lifestealer, but of course going for it this way around the Maelstrom into the armlet when he knew that he was going to be able to play this whole top half of the map completely uncontested, you're going to end up with the 2 items quicker than if you did it the other way around.
It's cool. Yeah. Then now they double Maelstrom, so the Naga side for the early game showing up. Pretty difficult for Hector to really do so.
Manta, no?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Of course, we use this Helm of the Overlord. And the Lord is just about done 600 gold. And Stinger, I mean, if he wants to save up the gold, he can do the option of going for that shard early. Right now, he's got that drum queued up. We'll see if he opts against it if he sees Nightfall. Pick up that Helm.
They get around mid.
Yeah, almost Bloodstone also on Chris Love. But still quite fragile. We see the amount of burst damage that EG has in this game. It's very different than last time.
Oh, for sure. And of course, Arteezy, in terms of the nature of the lifestealer, he's able to put that range and just get straight on top of the hero like the Lesh.
Yeah.
Let's have a look here. We'll have a quick replay.
Let's go run it. What is this? Going straight top? I'll just drop it. I'm coming. Just waiting for you guys to top 2 and then I'm going to go
There we go. Some very calm communication there between EG as they made that movement up towards that top lane, get the kill.
Yeah, they're just kind of, it sounded like they were mostly just calling the positioning of where all these heroes are, whereas the Naga always keeping tabs, of course, of where K1 is. Because if they look to make an aggressive move, have to be careful, because that song can come in, things can get turned around, so keeping tabs of where K1 is definitely going to be important. Quiet game though in comparison to the last one, 5-5.
Yeah, which I think will come as a big relief to EG. Very much in the early points of last game, the struggle was just kind of keeping Beast Coast under control. Beast Coast were getting away with so many kills, so many aggressive plays. This time around, EG able to match it and get that little bit more value from the map so far. Slight lead here, 1k gold advantage.
At some point, they definitely do want to apply a little bit more pressure. They will, of course, have these like Maelstroms and Mjolnirs, of course, for the Naga Siren, but we see how much you can actually just like cut the waves. They don't want to constantly be like dealing with all these waves at some point that Hector will be addressing, so we'll see what they do. Because their lineup, it's a little bit more pick-off oriented, you could say, on EG in comparison to Beast Coast, which when they do have the Brew ult and they have the Chen ult, it's a lot more team fight centric.
You can see here with these moves, EG trying to find what Jared the map K1's playing from with his main hero, but good read from K1, he'll back out of the map completely, so they won't find it.
He can be fight ready. He's actually gone for the diffusal build early on here on the Naga side, so could even look to, if he gets like a grab on top ever, that could be and set up for a kill. And now the Roche.
Okay, yeah, I mean, the Beastmaster in his army. Decent damage as well from Arteezy. They can tank this up with the summons and need to go for this.
Habis. Tawag ka Eli yung namin bibigay sa'yo. Mango.
Ito ka sa floor, nag-itawag dyan.
Get the Aegis. So CB's goes now popping the ultimates. Whisper leading him with the primal split. EG, they themselves are split up. Looking for... I think they're going to see it now. Moonlight comes to an end. So Crew will die.
Looks like.
Ahmed's also got to be a bit cautious. He has the Remnant, they're ready to dodge the split up. But indeed, the two supports are going to be in trouble. Flight's going to do a fair bit of damage to Whisper with the ultimate. But he will still slide
Go, good na stun.
Kajira's able to get the stun out to the two of them. But Nightfall, Brian has the roll.
May kanta pa.
Towards Kajira to take out the next assassin. And now Arteezy's ready to
Ayaw
chase
ko
down
kumanta.
Paul. Gets a double, takes out Stinger. As EG might be able to keep this fight going. Changes there from Ahmed, but he's starting to lose his mana. Chris turns.
Wala mana, be.
Nice sidestep there from Ahmed. Ahmed still ticking down very low. That's the Aegis gone. As he's down the ones, they've got to be careful about this Lesh. Chris charging through the middle of the fight. So to burn down Nightfall so they can kite him out of control, and further TPs are coming in. They're surrounding the Leshrac, but they're being careful how they commit for this. They know that Chris is very, very strong here on the Lesh. And EG, they won't be able to hold him back. So Chris manages to get back out of there. A nice bit of action for EG overall. Sure, you know, Beast Coast, they're able to take that Aegis quite quickly out of the hands of Arbed, but Arteezy able to turn up, get some kills. He's got a continued clean scoreline here, 4-0-0 on the Lifestealer, and enough money to pick up that Sanj. So now between the Maelstrom, the Armlet, and the Sanj, this Lifestealer is pretty darn strong. 17 minutes in, he can absolutely turn up to these fights as we've seen, and he's not easy for Beast Coast to deal with.
No, absolutely not. Chris.
Go, go.
Got the arrow on him.
Kajira's ready to back him up. Turn with the stun. Hold back Crit with that stun, and now Chris turns, heals up with the Bloodstone. As the split up onto Fly, Crit tries to leap away. Still ends up dying to the DPS.
Sira.
Constant battles. Rules is
What's that ally? What's that? Oy, Mabis.
And honestly, I mean, out of all of it, it looks
Oh.
like Chris actually comes out most ahead. Rather than Bloodstone coming back up at the end of the fight, able to replenish him and kind of walk through and reset.
He bites you.
He's actually overtaking the Ember now.
For sure, once sort of the first heroes were accounted for, the ults have been used, Raw goes down. You know, we saw how confident Chris could just sort of just walk through the middle of the fight. Yeah, make sure that he's in position to be kicking out as much damage as possible. See top lane, back to all players safe, goes for the song TP.
And the one thing too is like they've itemized now at this point, right? The Armlet, the Maelstrom, this is to deal with the Nox. This is this consistent damage that's going to be clearing out these illusions. It's not this big like desolator, this chunking damage that can eat the Lesh, right? So Chris, you know, he could maybe get away with quite a lot in this game.
They want to try and go for and take him down in with the chains into the arrow. They'll sadly do so.
Great chain stun.
Solid catch here from EG. We're seeing if they can push on for more. Jump forward with the Remnant. Arbed attempts to close the gap on Whisper. We'll hold back though. They want to try. Maybe they do want to dive the Tidges. If they catch him around this area, if Whisper steps out, they might go for a kill attempt.
Look, the ward's placed.
Yeah, they'll see it.
Probably seen though. Beast Coast's probably going to be able to get rid of that.
Wait,
You know, we did get to see a couple things also in these last situations. So much happening, but Chen, we did see he went for the shard, so he's going to be stealing those ancient creeps consistently from the Beastmaster. Chris needs to be a little more careful how far up he is alone. Sure, he's got the hand of God in some situations, but it's a lot of burst damage still from EG. Especially if they have everyone on top of him like that.
Dire's top tower.
Very close game, 10-8.
Radiant are scanning.
Right?
Still playing in this aggressive position in EG. Maybe seeing if they can do something early about the tier 2s. These are coming in. I mean, Beast Coast, they will take a fight if it's presented to them down here.
Got their ults ready. EG's just waiting to see if like someone will let people trickle in one by one. Because their heroes, they do at burst if they find them in the 1v1, or in the 1v like 2v3, etc. But in a 5v5, it can be a lot harder for EG.
Those tier 2s falling pretty quickly.
Bumasag.
And in fact, it's gone. An early tier 2 tower taken down. The same time, Stinger, he's really trying his best to get a trade up top. EG side, they will TP back. Stinger away in time. He's going to go for the TP.
Pana be!
They won't know that he's there. Nice little spot to hide in, and Stinger gets away. Won't get the tab, but still able to do a lot of damage on that top lane.
It's the Chen mini game. You know, it starts to happen at these points when everything's just split pushing. They have the Naga Siren, so it's just natural for him to start doing this.
Pwede naman i-go siguro.
Level 10 already with the
Mag-isa
drums,
lang.
the shard, medallion too. A lot of different ways to buff up and keep the Last Strike in particular alive. The plate mail now too. Chris Luck is again 24 armor, 2200 HP.
CLT was considering
money,
sort of what route he wanted to take. Does opt to finish the Beyond it. Also was thinking about the Halberd and the Skadi. I mean, what would you sort of imagine is top of the list from next? Does he want that bit of evasion, or does he want to have the Skadi to kind of deal with some of this sustain that the Lesh is able to survive off the back of in the fights?
Could depend on how successful the next fight is, right? Like if he gets a couple kills, we can just choose the Scotty. If not, maybe just wants the Halberd. It's a really good Halberd game, so he probably wants that anyway. Versus Naga, Naga never wants to build the True Strike. Hard now finished up, K1.
He's gonna be hard pretty hard to kill, even with that Mione.
Ang ilang heart na.
The fight with the illusions, get them on some of the supports. Now, RTG's gonna have his work cut out in terms of trying to just clear through this army that K1's gonna be involved in the fight.
They'll have to stick on him for so long, and he does have a lot of different ways to bail him out too, right? The Brew, the Sleep, the Hand of God, of course, from the Chen. That's what he can find. Fest is inside Hobbit. He doesn't have the BKB quite yet on this Ember Spirit, so still has to be very careful of Carapace.
Yeah, Gojira playing nicely around the sentry. They've got down. Is that EG won't manage to find an entry into the fight on this spot.
Gojira mostly is just like playing either around the Naga
What's
or
that?
the just waiting with the Carapace, right? Because if that instant jump comes, Carapace is going to turn it right away onto the Ember Spirit.
Nandyan lang, tanggalin mo ilahin mo lang.
See what they can get to with this. EG were pretty aware of this, and indeed with the scan hitting, they'll certainly make sure that everybody's back under the safety, their structures underneath their tower.
Nice! Good bird!
Not able to get a catch this time.
Having to avoid fights a lot though. Look at the map state. Look at the way that they're just getting forced in on the side of EG East Coast. This Naga Siren is starting to be a problem.
It is. It's not easy for some of EG's members to deal with these strong illusions with that heart.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be either the Lifestealer or the Ember to clear out the waves. They can't be in every single one of the lanes. As top down. Blip is pop, but that
Bilis naman mag-farm na itong Lechin.
Actually, it's a tier 2 blip. I'm sorry. I thought we did that.
Heart na aga.
Reset at the very least.
This is the thing, if you don't find fights and kill score stays pretty stagnant, you are going to see quite the difference in what K1 as a Naga Siren's able to clean up from the map.
Yeah.
Comparison to RTZ on the Lifestealer. Already 3,000 gold difference, and that will only grow unless EG can make some sort of move.
But the thing is, it's just difficult for them to look for the move because, as we said, you know, their lineup, it does want to look for these pickups, but when your lanes are all getting shoved, so much pressure for you to find any of these pickups. And East Coast really, there's quite a lot here. Now looking for even go for this next tier 2.
Kumusta yung mango mo? Asa na yung mango?
Micro the illusions perfectly on this sort of
Ito na
mid-top
yan.
lane. Two lanes consistently held right up to the high ground of EG.
Oh my god.
Chris also having his Lotus done. I believe the Ags on the Brew is about to be finished too. So Beast Coast, they're hitting quite a few timings here. EG, trying to feel what timing they're going to feel where they're like, okay, we can actually go for this straight up fight. It's, you know, they've got all these items, but when are they actually going to look for that real big on team fight versus Beast Coast? It does feel a bit difficult. And with Beast Coast is able to consistently keep these lanes pushed in at some point, you know, Roche is going to start coming back up. EG's going to have to look to make a move. 2 minutes until we do see that, but let's see when they do look to make that aggressive move. It's going to be now. They're smoked.
One. Not going to be able to offer up the catch there, Chop. I mean, EG do look like they're interested in taking a fight here. See how they can start it off around the board. Light. The Frostbite, they'll go for the Roar on Stinger. Nightfall commencing with the BKB. They want to kill off the Chen. They'll do so very quickly. See if they can chase some more. They'll look towards K1. Back up to the safety of his own high ground. And it looks like EG, they'll just manage to get the one kill for now with that commitment.
Okay.
The Roar down. They might have to be careful themselves. Arbet steps forward. Pops the dust. Will be able to dodge out the stun. Arrow ends up getting blocked by the creep here from Beast Coast. So no connection there.
That was pretty close. Almost gets Carapace, almost gets stunned from the Lash. They'll find a kill on the Chen, but Chen now respawning. They're gonna have to reset. Deal with their lanes again. I think that's actually one of the better kills if they can get it like that, because it prevents so much healing, so much chaos that will kick off.
It does just feel like, you know, K1's Naga Siren is getting out of control. He's pretty much got the Skadi done.
He's really gonna just probably deal with all the rest of the heroes and isolate the Arteezy Naga Siren at some point.
I mean, Arteezy's really got his work cut out in terms of build. He's going to go for the BKB picked up again. We saw being a similar approach from the Lifestealer earlier today against the PL, just making sure they can sort of stand in the fight, not to worry about the mana getting burnt through, and just giving themselves that extra time between the Rage and the BKB to just stay alive and just keep hitting this Naga Siren and trying to clear out her summons and the illusions as well as herself.
Stun, will connect on top. Arteezy's mana. It's time. He doesn't
Wala
have
nang
mana for
man.
Rage now, but they don't have anything else to catch him yet. And then can't quite. That was a little scary.
Whisper does pop the split. He's going to try and set up for some kills here around them. It will get fly.
Yeah, I think he's like, they're just avoiding us constantly. Like, he just wants to look for something to use that split. And now Roche is up.
Roche is indeed. It's there and ready. So Beast Coast, they could definitely look to just step into the pit stop, go for this. They have the song to rely on if they need to bail out or sort of set up a fight outside of the pit.
Ba't dalawa yung ano niya? Bakit meron pa siyang ano?
It's not going to be easy for EG to get in on this. You already see Kajira in his position.
Ba't meron pa siyang isang ano? Saan pa sa shard? Yung panda?
It already is Aegis picked up on Chris. EG, they've got to run. Nightfall pots the BKB. Abed will go with a couple of remnants, but he's still pretty close here to Beast Coast. Ends up losing his courier.
Ganyan na ba yung ano? Panda? Ayun o, may panda siya tapos meron pa siyang yung wheel.
Yeah, I mean, EG, they found like the one catch on Chad, but now, you know, when are they going to be able to deal with the Naga Siren? This Naga is just getting way too out of control. Same thing with Chris. He's the one carrying the Aegis on this Lesh now, too. They're going to go for Igron. With this available, they're going to have to pop it pretty early because that edict.
I mean, how do they deal with this? I mean, just say K1.
So, paano mo papatayin si K1?
He held the edict. He actually baited the glyph. He lifted his hands, canceled the animation. So they've got edict now for the push.
Big brain stuff in for Chris.
This tower is going down. The racks also.
They maybe more, yeah.
Uh-oh, EG.
I mean, EG's out on the map trying to pick up some farm. Arteezy will TP back. He is able to finish off the BKB, so he's got his next item done. See if this makes much of a difference in the fight. Range racks will go down. Beast Coast, they'll back off for now from pushing for the melee.
They still have 20 seconds left on split, so they maybe wait for like 10 or 15 seconds before they look for that fight. Gojira trying to catch a cheeky stun, won't get it.
Arteezy. The Rage yet. Beast Coast.
They're still lingering in the area.
I mean, they're keeping again both of these lanes consistently pushed into
Grabe naman kasi mag-farm to si K1.
The Bruce split is ready. Bottom lane though, pushing in. They're going to send to take care of it.
Dapat siya napapatay oh.
Denying away this farm from EG. 6k gold lead. EG, they see the left bottom. They're trying to make a move out to catch something. Yeah, Naga just getting bigger and bigger. Lesh getting bigger and bigger.
They're going to try for a move in.
Gotta get something big. EG, they need to find something.
Vested into Nightfall. He's ready to try and play off the back of a Blink Roar initiation from the Beastmaster. There's an Arcane Rune in the river though, so Chris, you'll have that ready for the next fight. Still with nearly 3 minutes on the Aegis, it's not easy for EG to jump anyone outside of the support. Flywheels start to try to start things here, and they will follow up onto Stinger. They'll get the Roar off as well.
Okay, they'll get the 2 supports. Pretty good grabs.
See if they can do anything off the back of killing the 2 supports.
They gotta fix the lanes. Lanes are all constantly pushed in either from the Naga Siren or from each other. Their whole jungle is actually also just being farmed from Chen. Like I was just looking, I'm just watching Chen throwing all of his creeps and he's just taking all of them.
Serious?
So still tons of pressure on the map. They do get at least 2 kills out of it, but it is just those 2 supports and now bottom tower looking to draw.
We should take off the aircon.
Very nice so far. Making sure they don't lose K1 at all so far. 0-0-2.
My God! Nyari.
During the time those 2 supports were down, nothing more that you really could get other than maybe some increased sort of space on their own half of the map in the jungle. That there was not going to be an aggressive play made by Beast Coast, but fortunately for themselves, not enough of kills to do anything aggressive and really deal with the push that's coming in. Because already, Chris, he's back up to the high ground on the bottom lane.
They're gonna pop the Rax glyph. Wanting really to hold on to those tier 3s. Don't have another glyph after this.
Paano mo papatayin yan oh?
Arteezy is going to try and get in on the fight. Steps up towards K1. Nightfall, he has the Roar.
Got the song off.
Get the arrow as well. Rage into the BKB. A long time here that Arteezy's going to be able to continue to be in onto the
na, puro post na.
He's only down to pretty much half health here, K1, as he backs away. No, kill Chris, that's the Aegis gone. A quick infest here from RTZ as he looks to stay alive. Now get the opening stun onto Chris.
Nice one. Naga, be. Utang ina, puro 4-stop. Regen.
So once again, EG getting the 2 support, taking that Aegis away a little early from Chris. Definitely a defense here coming out from EG that, all things considered, they'll be pretty content with.
That was an absolutely beautiful fight. Everyone's sitting at like 10%, 20% HP on EG, jumping in and out, getting these connections. Making sure that Chris Luck can't actually use his Aegis to its maximum. Almost even getting K1. That was a really good hold from EG.
Yeah, we're
getting
definitely
that roar off as that song kind of comes out.
And at the same time, pretty much. And indeed, you're seeing exactly why you go for this Rage BKB build. Just it gives RTZ this maximum amount of time, even during the song, to just keep hitting the Naga Siren. And we saw that ended up getting down to about a 3rd HP at the start of that fight. If RTZ is able to get that halberd done and then some sort of damage item, and during that sort of setup, they'll have a good chance of killing K1.
That was before they picked up quite a few items too. Abed now has an Aghanim done too, so his damage is going to be quite a lot higher in this next fight. And they're looking to get aggressive. Actually looking for more.
See what they can make a quick jump towards. And for the Remnant, Abed quickly swinging the back. Managed to get his way over towards Chris.
Got Lotus there.
Underneath the tier 2 arrow is going to hit. Chris gets the angle. As Chris going down, EG they'll definitely want to try and continue to fight off the wall. Kajira turns with the sun onto the 2 of them indeed. Over towards the mid lane there. The raw set up onto K1. No further damage output for now though, as K1's got the backup of Stinger.
Nothing to stop the CM ult. We'll clear out all those illusions.
TP over from Whisper.
EG now looking to bail. Another net.
And jumps a fly, so they want to try and tackle K1. I mean, RTZ's going to go for the squishies first. Goes straight for the Stinger, takes down a second support. See if they can get K1.
East Coast.
Very much for sort of the first time this game where Beast Coast are the ones that are having to play a little more cautiously around EG.
EG's definitely found their footing of timing really for that. But he likes to stick on his targets, right? It really is. This BKB, his halberd also making him super tanky. And he does have that Ghoul Frenzy talent too, so can stick on those targets a lot easier once he gets that initial hit.
I mean, what is the iron here for RTZ? He's got 2,600 gold saved up. Does he want to get the Skadi still to sort of limit the heals of the less strap with Bloodstone? Or do you want to see him get some sort of straight up damage iron?
Oh, honestly, Scotty.
He's got a lot to think about here, RTZ.
It feels like they're gonna start getting more and more damage for the Ember Spirit, so I wouldn't blame him if he does go for the Scotty. It is so valuable versus that Flash Shrek as you're mentioning.
Skupo! Konting kalmot party si.
Because he could also, I mean, we'll see.
Putang ina na ito kung ano papatay itong heart na to.
Kind of build. I'm not sure who's gonna go for that, but it's always pretty valuable versus Flash. So yeah, we'll see which one it's gonna be.
Look at this.
Abed, he's actually got the shard.
Nice one. Tayo niya heart na yan.
Quick kill on to Gojira.
So Abed, he's got Axe plus his shard, so watch for these remnants. Level 18 also, of course, was hit in that last fight. So his damage is going to be a lot higher versus that Naga Siren too.
EG themselves, they might have a bit of a chance to push up towards the base here. They're bringing the creeps in on the mid lane. A weird sort of vision here towards the move that K1's making over towards the mid. Looks like they'll still hold back a little bit here, EG.
Yeah, Abed, he keeps a remnant there and goes back. He's starting to clean up the counter push.
We'll get a bit of a setup
in the area.
Onto RTZ to be thrown into the air by Whisper. RTZ popping the rage. He's going to try and get on top of K1.
Elan, open mo. Hindi naman siya labas dun eh. Okay lang.
Back to safety, invest into fly. He's fine for now. He's gone. RTZ trying to go for round 2, but as soon as it comes out, the invest done. Will manage to get the BKB off, and with that BKB duration, stays on top of Stinger. RTZ now godlike, and it's ready for more. Turns towards Kajira, Rage in the ready. So after the BKB comes to an end, RTZ can continue to push on. In fact, now it's going to use the rest of the Rage to TP out.
He gets bashed. I don't even think K1 actually got the hit on him there, but that was close. They actually got the stun there. Gojira, the two-man stun, it catches the Lifestealer and the Beastmaster in the back, so kind of splits the fight up EG.
Ay nako, David.
Yeah, RTZ making a
nalulungkot na ako. Ang ina nung Naga, sobrang bilis mag-farm. Parang kakamanta lang, nakadifuse, tapos kakabili lang ng vitality, heart na agad. Parang, hindi ko alam kung worth it ba yung BKB nito ni RTC. Kasi kulang siya sa damage eh.
Absolutely, we're seeing the rage alone, not enough for Arteezy to rely on in the midst of a team fight.
So many chain stuns that can come out of giving to Gojira as well as Lesh. Yeah, we see this one again. I think the stun is going to come in a few seconds right around this moment when Arteezy backs up. It's tough to stick on the Naga-san, you know, even though they do get this connection of chains, he is still very tanky, and they have to be very careful with these supports, you know, if they get caught at all from a Lesh, at all from a Naga-san, they're just dead. And yeah, here it is, the stun from Gojira. Boom! Catches the two, catches the beast, and K1's able to focus fire.
Absolutely, and he sort of stun that allows K1 and the illusions to close in on a hero. Not going to stand much of a chance against this massive Naga Siren here, 28,000 net worth. K1 just continuing to grow at an incredible rate. Has yet to die this game.
Roshan about a minute. Also having an arcane rune, Chris Lutz bottle. Getting 4 stacks, continues to level 20 on the Lesh. 20 on the Ember.
Don't close this one, Eli, para dun siya nag...
Just keep killing this axe, of course.
Open mo lang yan.
Stun does connect, starting to burn away some mana. I mean, mana is pretty...
Hello, Jonelle! Innocente. Wala na. Kaya pa naman nila yan. 9k lang naman eh. Yan, patay mo yan. Kasi si... Utang ina kasi paano kasi papatayin tong Naga. Yeah. Uy, gogo. Gogo patay si Abid. Be.
It's really being a problem for the BKBs, right? They keep getting burnt and they can't pop their BKBs because of it.
And you see as well, Chris committed with the buyback. So he really wants to just join the push. They don't want to go for the rush. That looks to be indeed what they're going to do.
It's an agony.
And they don't have, of course, control of the outpost either, EG, in their own jungle, so they can't really go for some sort of buyback play on Arbet either. They're just going to have to let this go here to the Beast Coast.
And, I mean, is this one where you give it to the Naga Siren? Probably, right?
No.
The Life Stealer through those.
I think certainly so. We'll see if they see anything
worse
than that.
Oh, Chris takes it. Okay. I mean, the Nihilism on the way could protect the Lash, so we'll see. He takes everything. Oh my. Okay.
Nihilism.
I mean, he did buy back, you know. He wanted to make sure he got his money's worth.
That is quite fair. Definitely could see the argument, though, for the axe on the Naga Siren for that. You know, that, of course, it's there for the spell immunity, but... K1 also about to finish up a Bloodthorn. I mean, he's hitting critical mass soon.
Ay, Diyos ko! Nako, Karisa! Malas ka, dumating ka pa. So, wala na yung double SS ni Panda rin pag naka-aga names. Isa na lang. So, ang ina nito ni K1, ha? Pinaboss. Be, may Aegis pa yan, be. Uy, gogo na ano si Abid! Patay! Patay! Puta! Ubusin mo, Bed! Kasi inuubos na nung ano. Watching na ako. Watching na ako mag... Putang ina nito ni K1. Grabe mag... Naku po, EG. Ano ba yan?
The first tier 4 falls. The second shortly to come.
It's going.
The ancient's exposed. As Beast Coast, they're looking to close it up. EG, they'll go for one final attempt at holding back Beast Coast, but they're just focusing the ancient. EG, there's nothing to be done.
Diyos ko po, GG.
Beast Coast will be moving on. And this is the end of the road for Evil Geniuses this year.
Oh my, South America has taken out EG. Back-to-back series, 2-0, both times. Oh my god. Beast Coast, the team that got EG into TI, now they've taken it away.
I mean, they've got to be feeling fantastic. From the first game, they're complete dominance from start to finish, and then the second one, a bit of a different approach, more sort of just focusing on K1 becoming this incredible beast that couldn't be dealt with. He was just at top of the farm and far ahead for the entire game. It just got too much at the end of the game. Now, EG able to pull together pretty much the better defense that we've seen out of both of these series, but it just still was not good enough. Once again today, the South American team's coming out on the East Coast. This is a team on land. It's so hard to prepare for them because they just hit another level when they get out there in front of the crowd.
They power up off each other, they play out for each other so well. You can see, as soon as the Naga Siren has a little trouble, Chris comes in and just slaps things. I mean, wow. That was an unbelievable series. 22-20, this one a lot closer than the last game, but still, Beast Coast. Wow.
Yeah, it was across the board. Every single player there from Beast Coast just in sync with one another. They're just right up until that line. Knowing when to just really just put the foot on the pedal and push it to the max. Right? You saw Chris just running into the base, running down the ball. A point where RTZ doesn't have the ball. It's just over from that moment.
Sayang yung run nung sa group stage.
For Evil Geniuses today, as Beast Coast knocked them out of the competition. Beast Coast, they'll be the ones to get to continue their lower bracket run here at the international.
Hello, Boss Kenye. Bayan!
Yes, Beast Coast just dominating. You know, another 2-0 at the international. We've seen so many 2-0s. I'm really hoping we do get a better free go all the way. But unfortunately, Evil Geniuses, that's the last North American team. I believe it's only, is it only Snake King that is left from America?
It's something along those lines.
Yeah,
still have almost
the weight of America on Snake King.
Well, he can lift a lot. He's a boy.
He is, but
South America.
America, yes.
Let's go, baby. And we're still alive and strong. I mean, obviously sad for EG, but Beast Coast played hype as per usual. And I didn't think this would be a good game, but he made it work
Shout out to Hello, Boss Kenye.
especially.
Yeah, I think the main thing from Beast Coast is they, under the pressure of EG early on, Arbed with his Ember, crit on the Marauders, really make these early plays. Arbed kind of sacrificed his game a little bit, so when they got their Aegis onto the side of EG, then Beast Coast instantly swiped away within a minute, if that, or like 30 seconds, and EG's kind of momentum completely shifted, and Beast Coast, they look back to their Naga Siren like, come on mate, it's your turn to take over the game.
And I have to say, te quiero mucho Arturito. You tried your best. You went for that,
Hi guys, so mag-ano muna ako. Mag-off muna ako guys. Balik ako pag yung mag-live ulit ako yung sa Boom saka sa ano tawag dito? LGD. Bye bye mga B. Thank you so much.